Peace, folks. This is X from TPOT Media. Open your mind and wake your black ass up. You know what time it is. Hit that damn like button as you make your way in the door. Grab a seat, settle in, get ready. It's the Grown Man Hour with your host, my man, Bernard Riley.
What is up? What's going on, everybody? Hopefully I'm coming through okay. Push one in the chat if y'all can hear me okay. I am on the road. I am struggle streaming with the Yeti mic today. We'll be joined by Hood Conservative, as you can see in the thumbnail and the title. We will be joined by him. He's not haven't quite yet made it into the back chat yet, but we'll be definitely joined by him. Definitely joined by him momentarily. But shout out to the early bird squad, those that make it in bright and early before we even get things started. Uneducated lame sliding into first. TD Hutch in the building says the conservative tag team. Shout out to you. Appreciate you coming on through. No guarantees in the buildings says second. Skirt. No guarantees in the building says oops. Third. RM. Shout out to RM. And as she always says, hit the like button. We got Mr. Plain John Doe in the building. Says this is going to be another good show. Let's get it. Absolutely. Yeah, we going to be going over a few good concepts. American Negro in the building. Iron Addict, Long Tongue Son in the building. Shout out to you. Prophet of Thought series says, wake your black ass up. It's the Grown Man Hour. Shout out to brother Xavier. Shout out to every Theo in the building. Shout out to Theo. Shout out to Joe Ethereal. Shout out to Saladin El Rahim. Shout out to, I made all the way to the bottom, Regular Degula. Shout out to you. Shout out to Regular Degula. I like that name. Like that. Listening while cutting the grass. You got some good earbuds in. You don't got the right earbuds. That grass be loud as hell. That lawnmower be loud as hell. Trying to listen to a podcast while cutting the grass. I'm sitting here rhyming. But let's go ahead and get ready to go. We're not joined by Hood sort of yet, but definitely got a good one for you today. The title, this ain't exactly the title to what he wanted to go with. He did want to talk about white supremacy and how it's been, how it tends to get used in a way to where, you know, I want to wait for him to come up so he can really lay it out himself. But it's more so a situation where it gets used and weaponized. When I say weaponized, I'm not even talking about weaponized as in how somebody would say that, oh, they're using this to oppress us. No. It just gets strategically placed into certain conversations where it probably doesn't go. It gets strategically placed into certain conversations. It don't matter what the conversation is or what the conversation is about. When dealing with black folks, all roads lead back to white supremacy. It can be a conversation derailer. It can be, as I put in the title, a way to gaslight black men. So we're going to be getting into that. It says OG snapped. Yeah, he's been on a mission. He got, but I got to double check to see how long he's banned from my show. They definitely ponied up the cash they was trying to get rid of him for good. They definitely ponied up all the cash. They did. So yeah, that will be a problem. Sir Tice in the building. He says, bro, I'm in the town. I'll hit you up. Listening from the gym. Shout out to Sir Tice coming through, dropping $10 on it. Shout out to Sir Tice coming through, dropping $10 on it. I'll show y'all an example of what I mean, how it gets smuggled into conversations. And ironically, this is something that somebody just sent me. Somebody just sent me this, and I'll show y'all a prime example of what I mean by it just being smuggled into conversations. And I mean smuggled in there. Let me see. We're going to pull this up. Oh, wait, this ain't it. This is that password. Okay. Put one in the chat if you saw what Bitcoin L posted. And SKC went and reposted it about the guy basically crying about passport bros. Put one in the chat if you saw that. That ain't what the show is about today. But push one in the chat if you saw that. If y'all didn't see that, then that's. But we wait for Hood Conservative. We gonna entertain ourselves with that one. You're gonna entertain ourselves with that. I'm doing a complete detour because I pulled this up by accident. I was trying to pull up something else and I accidentally pulled this up, and that wasn't nobody but the Lord telling me I needed to play this for y'all. That wasn't nobody but the Lord telling me I needed to play this fuckery for y'all. Hold on. Give me a second. Give me a hot second. Because I think y'all don't know what I'm talking about. This guy broke down in tears. Real grown man tears. I thought when it was described to me, I thought his voice just cracked a little bit. But no, if you listen to the end, it was real man tears on the panel. I don't even know whose panel this is. But okay, Hood Conservative just made it into the back, but we already going down this path here, so we got to keep going because we got to examine these man tears. But shout out to Sir Tice again. Shout out to Sir Tice once again. All right, Hood Conservative, give me a mic check.
Mic check.
All right, yeah, you sound. Wait, hold on, say it again. Give me another one.
Yeah, mic check.
Oh, it's like you crackling. You snap, crackle, popping up in there.
All right, 1 second.
Yeah, well, I'm going to play this while you try to figure that out, because not enough people saw this. This is classic. This is going down in history. This don't got nothing to do with the show today, but this is still going down in history. So we got to play this. A grown man crying about passport bros.
Brothers, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm in the middle. I have our black male code to a certain extent. I'm a black male. But I'm just one of those few of us that actually loves the women that births us. And I would never, ever. I've been married to a Mexican woman. There's some of us that are in the middle. It's not black and white, young brothers. I get it. We older generation, we don't understand where you guys came from. Outwardly, just totally downgrading us like this. But that's all right. That's a different story. This is really for the young black brothers. I really do want to see you guys travel because we don't as black people. And it's so beautiful that young black men are getting out to go see the world, but you're bringing back an untruth. It is not safe for us like that. Still travel. Yeah, get you a fine Latina, but do it right, young black men. Think about how it is in this country right now for you. It is not better. No, I'm not saying don't go, and I'm not saying don't experience life, but especially Colombia. I teach Hispanic civilization and culture. Black men, be in the middle. Travel the world, be you, but stop tearing down our mother and sisters. Tell them the truth. It's not safe like that. We are seen as Vicks. Now, it might not be right, but it's the truth. We are the biggest Vicks. Why? Because all you want is some fucking pussy. All you want is some goddamn Latina pussy. That's all you show. Just like here. Just like here. Now, that doesn't mean you can't find a woman over there that loves you. Of course you will. They all want a damn passport. I got fucking played. And speak the language fluently. That's how big the game is. Be careful, young black men. This is not just as easy as, oh, they just want you. Oh, yeah, yeah, you're going to get some pussy. Because that's the image that we portray. That's the image we portray. We going to get some pussy and that's it. You're going to spend your money and you're going to marry them and you're going to get them out of poverty. The same thing you can do here for your own black people. Same thing you could do.
Period.
And I'm going to stop right there because you know what? This is not to go down on my black brothers. I'm going to be honest with you because I'm a black man from Chicago. And even though I'm one of the righteous ones, I'm still a black man and I cannot unmarry myself from the ridiculousness that we're showing to the world the last 15 years. I still love you because I'm you. I'm just not going to do what you do. There's some of us in the middle and you know what? I love my sisters. I love my mother, her nappy hair, her big lips, because it's mine. Stop tearing down our fucking people. You don't understand. I'm a high school teacher. Everybody in the world sees us as fucking buffoons. Stop. Yeah, they beautiful over in Colombia, but it's some ugly motherfuckers too, and you know it. You know it. Be in the middle. Travel the world. Do it, please. Open your mind, brother. Please. But stop telling everybody that everything is better over there. They hate your ass just like they hate you over here.
I'm not gay no more. I am.
All right, I don't know. I don't know what this dude got to do. I don't know what the been delivered dude got to do with this, but that was the clip. That was the clip right there that came from I don't know where Bitcoin L found that. Again, I don't know whose panel this is. I don't know. I don't know the genesis of this. I don't. All I know is this grown ass man was crying. I guarantee somewhere on Black YouTube, the same man has been in discussions about everything from women abusing their children, kids getting shot and stray bullets in a drive-by, all kinds of stuff. I guarantee he didn't cry. I can almost guarantee he did not cry in those discussions. He was moved to tears on this one. Moved to tears. That was beyond just a little voice crack. Like, no, like that. He's like, you're talking about our mothers and our sisters. Like, oh man, Conservative. This is your first time hearing this. Conservative.
Yeah, that's way better than anything I would have brought up today. Oh my God, this is disgusting. It's like black love makes you a woman. Black love turns men into women, bro. This is crazy.
This is not disgusting, man. This. I'm enjoying this. I'll probably be disgusted at a later date. You're not about to take the joy out of this. I'm on my SKC shit today. I'm just laughing at this shit.
Nah, you gotta have that attitude because like it's so bizarre. And this is like almost in line with the email I sent you. You know, they tried shame, blame, and now it's guilt. That's what those tears are. So he can induce a feeling of guilt in anyone that's listening. They're talking about your mama. They're talking about your sister. So you can be mad, and now you can engage in black love out of defiance or something weird like that. This is retarded.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. Like that is beyond. That is beyond. JC the Conqueror want the clip again. Really? you you want more? We'll play the last little voice crack at the end for the few new people that just came in. Oh shit! I didn't accidentally unshared it. We'll do that. Like that one is going down in history. That one is going down in history, man.
Now, in light of the conversations that you've been having on this channel over the last like 2 weeks, with minus the tears, he is in line with pretty much all the guys who've been coming up, singing the Black Love song. And don't get me wrong, I'm saying Black Love like mockingly because of dudes is crying over it now, so you deserve to be mocked. But I'm not against Black Love. I just want to be a man no matter what.
Now,
and so when you sell it to me like that, it's like you're sucking the manhood out of everything. I don't want to play this game.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. That's a good point. It's and I've said this before, and there's people who, I mean, there's some people who disagree, but I feel like people who disagree, they didn't really watch them that much. Like, but so to the extent that, like, let's just say Kevin Samuels was, selling the idea, the notion of Black love, he was selling it from the perspective of the man being a man in the relationship and the woman yielding or bending to, the will of the man, so to speak. Like, you could sell it to men that way. But the way that everybody tries to sell it to men, it does go back to something you said before, where they're basically saying, yeah, submit to the women. That's how they that is how they legit try to sell it. They legit try to sell it that way, and that won't work. That dog won't hunt. Well, it will for some. It will for some, because for some that is enough. For some that is enough. That is simply enough. They they pull out man tears, they shame, they try to bring your mama into it, if you're not loving a Black woman, then you don't love your mama. It's like that's how they essentially try to do it. That's how they try to sell it. That's how they try to sell it. But shout out to JC the Conqueror. He's dropped $10 on it, said play the clip again. And go to hell, SKC. Just go to hell. Start digging. Start digging. I ain't even read. He says, I want in on this one if possible. We got you, SKC. We got you. We didn't come prepared to even talk about this clip here. I was trying to pull up.
No, but it fits. It really does fit.
Coincidentally, it does fit. But I was trying to pull up something else, and then I accidentally pulled this one up. But it coincidentally does fit. But this was a classic moment in Black YouTube anti-Black male freedom and sovereignty history. Like that's this moment is going down in history right here. Homeboy is crying about that. I'm pretty sure they've covered. I'm pretty sure somewhere on Black YouTube, this man has been in a conversation about a kid who died when some fool shot into a house and stray bullet hit a 5-year-old. I bet he wasn't crying on the mic. Bet he wasn't crying on it. But he's crying.
And you know why? I don't know why he would do that on this moment and not those moments, because the rule applies across the board. Male tears are worthless, bro. Nobody helps you when you cry. As a man, nobody wants to help you when you're crying. Like, have you ever seen a guy in public crying? It's creepy. It's weird. It does, like, when you see a woman in public crying, it kind of touches your emotions. It's like, oh damn, what happened to her? You almost naturally feel bad. But when you see a man openly crying in public, it makes you want to get away from him. Because you never know. Listen, after he's crying, he might start shooting. Like, you never know what's going on with that guy. Like, you are clearly unstable right now. So I'm going to back away slowly and then act like I never bumped into this moment. But like, when a woman cries, you can get all the sympathy in the world. So I don't know how. I don't know why you forgot that rule all of a sudden. Maybe it's because you feel like we talking about your mama.
Mm. Speaking of man crying, well, this is the woman crying. I don't think you covered this. This is what I was going to start the show off with your take on that situation that I covered yesterday, where Dr. Tia Johnson made a really good point about it, about the woman who was resisting arrest. The black male cop was trying to arrest her. She had an attitude from the start with him and everything. I think you was in my chat room. I think you saw you probably saw the clip by now and everything. How she started out in full masculine chest to chest with him mode and everything, and then until he started trying to arrest her. When he started trying to arrest her, then all of a sudden she pulled out her woman tears. And Dr. Tia Johnson made a good point that white women can effectively weaponize tears to elicit results out of men, but he was saying that black women, at least in these situations, they start out masculine, and then when they start taking the L, they try to default to the feminine tears. It's like that was a interesting social commentary between the masculine feminine nature of woman tears or black woman tears in a situation. That was an interesting commentary on that one. So I was gonna hit you with that one, but we stumbled.
Well, I actually
Go
do
ahead.
want to respond to that really
Yeah, go
quickly,
ahead.
though. I don't know if it's a black white thing per se, but for a woman, you have to maintain femininity at all times. Just like with men, they tell you have to maintain your frame and all that. For a woman, your frame is femininity, so you can't throw your balls on the table and then cry later when somebody steps on your balls. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't work for women, and black, white, whatever. I think it's across the board. If you want to be respected as a woman, you have to stay in the box of a woman.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true, and that's literally what she tried to do. She tried to plead the woman tears, the woman tears fifth after the fact, and yeah, that shit ain't working. But Theo Waff in the building says, "Do like Mortal Kombat and finish him." Shout out to Theo. SKC in the building says, "I want SKC on the panel. We got you. I want to see here." Hood Conservative lay out his general premise, and then we'll bring SKC in. But Jaquan in the building says, "Roll that beautiful bean for yeah. I'm not gonna rest until I play this shit again." Okay, here we go. Here we go. Where's it at? Where's the play button? We're not gonna do the whole thing. We're gonna start it from about the middle.
Wanted some goddamn Latina pussy. That's all you show. Just like here. Just like here. Now, that doesn't mean you can't find a woman over there that loves you. Of course you will. They all want a damn passport. I got fucking played. And speak the language fluently. That's how big the game is. Be careful, young black men. This is not just as easy as, oh, they just want you. Oh, yeah, yeah, you're going to get some pussy. Because that's the image that we portray. That's the image we portray. We gonna get some pussy and that's it. You're gonna spend your money and you're gonna marry them and you're gonna get them out of poverty. The same thing you can do here for your own black people. Same thing you could do.
Period.
And I'm gonna stop.
Okay, real quick. That was about the fruitiest period I ever heard in my life. Like, I don't know who channel this is, but like, okay, I know you don't know who these people are either. So I don't know if that was just a coincidentally fruity period or these just some gay people doing YouTube. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that, but that was a fruity ass period. But anyway.
Right there, because you know what? This is not to go down on my black brothers. I'm gonna be honest with you, because I'm a black man from Chicago, and even though I'm one of the righteous ones, I'm still a black man, and I cannot unmarry myself from the ridiculousness that we're showing to the world the last 15 years. I still love you because I'm you. I'm just not going to do what you do. There's some of us in the middle, and you know what? I love my sisters. I love my mother, her nappy hair, her big lips, because it's mine. Stop tearing down our fucking people. You don't understand. I'm a high school teacher. Everybody in the world sees us as fucking buffoons. Stop. Yeah, they beautiful over in Colombia, but it's some ugly motherfuckers too, and you know it. You know it. Be in the middle. Travel the world. Do it, please. Open your mind, brother. Please. But stop telling everybody that everything is better over there. They hate your ass just like they hate you over here.
I'm not gay.
All right. There it is. Yeah. It's hard to not laugh at that hood conservative. Oh man. But no, I'm low on commentary for that one. For me, that one is just hella funny. The voice cracking, the crying. That I got nothing for that. But
Well, in that spirit, this is one of the things that kind of sparked my idea for the show.
Mm-hmm.
When have you ever heard black women crying about black men publicly on YouTube? I mean, the love is not there, bro. Like, you clearly, and every time somebody says, I love my black women, my first question is, you mean all of them? Every single one? Like, how is that even possible? I think you just, like, if you calling that love, then we have to question what love is. Because, like, I love people that I actually know. And then out of the people I actually know, I only love a handful of those people, right? So how can you love all of these women you never actually know? You never met. You just saying that, bro, because it makes you feel good. And it's the type of shit that makes black men look good when other people hear you saying that. I love all my black sisters. No, you don't. Stop lying.
Yeah, I always found that to be a very patronizing statement. Like, we've heard black women do that. As actually was like a little string of YouTube videos that was, where a bunch of black women was like, "I love you, black man. I love you, black man. I love," it was just like, it was like an edited montage of them saying, "I love you, black man." And I don't find any value in that, in doing that. And somebody followed it up with "I love you, black woman." And listen, I understand how just from a group hug standpoint, it probably makes people feel good. But I always look at it like this, the woman who goes out there and and marches on behalf of some black man who had some injustice happen to him. I do want to know, when you follow her home, she got kids? Is it a black man that she got in the system on that she's limiting access to his kids and shit like that? She got him on child support. Limiting his access and all kind of shit like that. I wonder those things. So whenever anybody get on that group hug shit, I'm like, are you being a piece of shit to the black man in your life? That's what I want to know. That's where I'm at with it. So that group hug aspect of black love, I love you, black man, I'm here for you, black man, or I love you, black woman, love the black woman, praise the black woman, the black, like, no, like, come on, man. So I'm definitely with you on that.
You realize
Go ahead.
your average protest crowd, like your BLM crowd or whatever, is baby mamas and lesbians.
Yeah.
So what does that really say about your love for the black man? Like, yeah, you got out there to march for this young dude that got shot somehow, some way. But, baby mamas and lesbians don't really inspire hope for the black love situation in my book.
Agreed 100%. Agree 100%. Shout out to Shaylin Fantastic says, did he cry when he found out about the small number of men fathering thousands of children in the community? No, they are seeding the community. That is a pro-black act for a man to have 17 baby mamas and 33 kids. He's helping to build the nation. And that magical word legacy, so no, he didn't cry about that. That was a good thing. But
Let me ask another question.
Go ahead.
'Cause I want to lay out the idea that really sparked this. Is because it's not about the tears. What really sparked this idea, you know, whether it was Obi from We Need to Talk or Mr. Let Go, and pretty much everybody who was on the Black Love train, at some point after they get backed into a corner. And that's why I said I appreciate where your show has been going over the last couple of weeks, and that, you know, it's like a clearinghouse for male ideas. But every time one of these guys get backed into a corner, sooner or later white supremacy comes up.
Yeah.
I never hear black women talk white supremacy. And especially in the context of black love, meaning this: I do not hear black women coaching other black women to make peace with black men because we need to fight white supremacy. And so from that context, you're alone in your fight against white supremacy. Even though she's supposed to be your woman and your partner and all these things, technically you're alone. And then, you know, it's no secret. I mean, people on this channel will know by now, I don't believe in the concept of white supremacy at all. I think, yeah, there are racist people in this world. A lot of them, you know, they may have a position of authority every now and then and have a chance to, you know, make your life or your day a little bit difficult. But that is not white supremacy as like some overarching specter. I don't believe in that. It's the evidence of it. I'm on the Thomas Sowell train. You know, I need to find evidence of racism. And so, because there's very little evidence of it, there's just like, you know, rumor and speculation and essentially gaslighting, as you say in the title. I tend to believe it's not as true as people say it is. And it gets brought up in moments where you want to compel action from only black men.
But what kind of action, you know, are they trying to okay, the action that they're trying to get is typically not an action. And I agree with you what you just said about, you know, white supremacy. There's a racist people, and when there's racist people and there's a capitalist structure, every now and then a racist person may end up at the top of a particular structure or a particular company or a particular something, and then, you know, and then yeah, and like I always point out that when they get caught with their hand in a cookie jar being white supremacists, then yeah, they, you know, they normally get brought up on some type of charges, you know. So anyway, I'm, you know,
if we were really a white supremacist nation, why are all these Mexicans just walking across the border? Just ho hum, just whistling Dixie as they walk into the white supremacist nation. It doesn't make sense. Like, and then all right, not just the Mexicans. How come like
the black people?
Yeah. Look, the Haitians can walk in here too. Low key, those Haitians, they didn't all get sent home.
Hold on, let me address what Trey is saying. He's saying white supremacy and a crime. What I'm talking about right there, if a company get found, oh my bad, yeah. No, if a company get found out to be doing what is considered to be some racist practices, there's been plenty of lawsuits where millions of dollars have been shelled out, and, you know, because they basically got busted doing some racist shit. You know, there's checks and balances within the system. So I mean, that's why when people say we live in a system of white supremacy, when they get caught doing something that resembles white supremacy, then it should just be like oh well.
Right.
But instead, you know, seeing as there's checks and balances and charges that can be brought on, that means that there's a system that at least is attempting to correct aspects of the system where people can abuse. I mean, that's sort of what democracy is generally about, where to make sure that the will of the mighty doesn't just overpower the weak, or, you know, it's essentially there to make sure that we don't live in a white I was about to say white make right, but I meant to say might make right. Freudian slip there. But it's supposed to make sure we don't live in a might makes right society. Now, can you get it perfect? No, I don't think you can get it perfect. But the fact of the matter is that there are system checks and balances in place to make sure of that. But I do generally agree with your point on that. But what I want to circle it back to, is when you say that it gets brought up in conversations, typically when they're asking black men to do something. What I say to that is the thing that they're asking them to do, it's like a weird thing where, okay, if white supremacy is this big, big problem, it gets brought up and used and telling black men to do something in conversations that are not necessarily even about defeating this big problem. It gets brought up in fucking, relationship conversations. That's where it gets weird for me. So you say when they use it, as I put in the title, as a way to gaslight or to ask black men to do something, like what is it that they're exactly asking black men to do in terms of white supremacy in a discussion about the failure of a black coupling? Like that's where I'm like, okay, this is some gaslighting shit, but go ahead.
Right, and that's exactly how I feel. Once you bring up white supremacy in a conversation about dating, I think you've lost the plot, and the argument is over at that point because
Yeah.
you're clearly gaslighting now. And again, objective, measurable reality. There are, and I'm saying objective, measurable reality in response to Silent Lamont down in the chat. It's not about defending the white man, so to speak. I'm actually trying to measure reality. I want to know, I want to see what the world really consists of. You know what I'm saying? So the idea that we should just operate on this fantasy, this fairy tale of white supremacy, like, no, I think there's other things at play here. And frankly, I've had this conversation before where, like, I think you could make a case that there are way more, how would I say this? Men as a group are suppressed far more than black people as a whole are suppressed.
Make the case.
So there are no laws really preventing black people from having, access to whatever is going on in this country. And especially if you have the money to play, they tend to let you in. As a black person, if you can pay for your ticket, they tend to let you in. I have yet to have this problem in my life. If I had the money, I got in the game. That's just the way it's worked so far.
Right.
Whereas, like, if you're a man, though, they have policies not necessarily directly against you, but they have policies to support women over you. Whereas I don't know that there are policies in place to support white people over black people.
Right.
And so when you make the argument like that, again, the argument of white supremacy falls flat. But the argument of feminism is essentially bulletproof. And I think as black men, it's been my contention pretty much since I started streaming on YouTube. But as black men, our biggest gripe is not white supremacy. On a day-to-day level, our biggest gripe is most likely feminism, as evidenced by the black manosphere. The black manosphere is essentially a place where we don't really come together to talk about white supremacy. And white supremacy gets brought up when you decide not to play the black love game anymore. So I'm like, no, I think you're using white supremacy to keep me enchained, essentially.
Yeah, absolutely. SKC, check your email, and yeah, make sure you subscribe to Hood Conservative as you see it right there on the chat room. Make sure you go and subscribe. Yeah, so I guess what I was getting at, I was trying to get at a tangible, practical thing that if white supremacy is the problem that it is, what would be a tangible? I can't think of a tangible, actual thing that black men are being asked to do to counter it. I can't think of that in any discussions that I've seen, that I've been privy to. I have not seen that. I see it just get brought up in some odd way to derail whatever other conversation that black men are having. But Kevin C. HNL is in the building with well, no, that's the currency. Where is that from? HNL? I have no idea what that is. So I have no idea how much that is. It might be it was equivalent to $5 because it's blue. He says, agree, white supremacy is way down the list of problems. Thank you for the super chat. Do appreciate that. Also, we got the Orange Pill Nurse in the building. The orange pill nurse in the building says, also, I'm sick of Black women bringing up this generational wealth argument as if their decisions in getting education and buying their own home are to increase Black generational wealth. They hold most debt. Thank you for the super chat. I do appreciate that. Yeah, the generational wealth thing gets brought up. I think, there's a fair discussion about some things that happened in the past, but I do believe that there's a major failing amongst, us as a group when it comes to the things that we could be doing today, or could have been easily doing and establishing, within the last 20 to 30 years, to where that will make it to where now, you're an adult over 30 now with kids, and you very well could have, things to pass down to your children. So I've broken this down plenty of times. Buy a home, pay it off, life insurance policy, retirement, all of that could add up to over $1 million by the time you die, and then you can hand that down to your kids. Like that's a easy roadmap to some type of generational wealth to pass down to your kids. Generational wealth, it's generational. It can start with you. It can start with you. That's all I'm saying.
SKC was talking about this a lot lately. I forget how he framed it, the success track or something, but basically the concept is there are essentially three things you got to do to have some level of success in this country. Graduate high school. Don't get a felony, like stay away from crime. Don't find yourself with a criminal record, and don't have children out of wedlock. And if you can if you can maintain those three things, you will be more successful than otherwise.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to defeating white supremacy, nobody ever talks about that. Like you said, I rarely hear a good battle plan from the people who believe in white supremacy. Because technically, yes, getting married and having a family and all that would be a great hedge against white supremacy. And frankly, that's what the civil rights generation had that kind of kept them going. Like, if you look at something like the Selma bus boycott, right? What they wound up doing was like a lot of carpooling. Like, Black people just sort of came together as a community and they helped each other out. But you wouldn't have that in a neighborhood where nobody's really tied to one another. Like, and then this is what you see like in these modern neighborhoods where it's like a whole neighborhood full of baby mamas. They're not really connected in the sense of community the way it would have been, 50 years ago, when everyone in that neighborhood was like a part of a normal, stable family system. There's just something about having stable families all together in a neighborhood makes the neighborhood thrive. And when the civil rights generation actually launched that whole campaign, it wasn't a bunch of single people. It was people who had families, people who were invested in their children, and I guess basically invested in legacy. And you just don't really get that with single people, baby mamas or whatever. There is no real legacy without family, without an actual family unit, not this modern thing they call family.
Yeah, let's talk about that. I just recently saw something. Damn it! What you would have loved this? You would have loved this. I was reading an article. They didn't use the word birthing people. This is sort of not related, but it's related to what you just said about this modern iteration of what they call in families. And I just saw something on the modern iteration of what they're calling women, but they said they were no, I guess they were talking about some Roe v. Wade, or women's healthcare rights and freedoms, aka the right to kill a baby. And they were saying and how this affects women, and damn it, what did they? I gotta look at. I'm gonna pass it to Little Big Nate. I gotta look up. Damn, y'all can hear me eating. Shit, this might pick up every damn thing.
Yeah, we can hear all that.
God damn it. Okay, I'm gonna pass it to Little Big Nate and mute up. I am hungry as hell. I ate one time yesterday at like 4 o'clock and then didn't eat nothing else, and I'm I'm closing in on 24 hours without eating. Now that I do the math, about to be 20 hours at noon, so I'm starving. So yeah, so I'm gonna pass it to Lil Big Nate.
Isn't it weird how you can forget to eat sometime? Like I catch myself like that too every now and then.
No, I mean it's kind of halfway by design because I tell myself like if I start the show, I'm not gonna eat till I'm done with the show, and then I may not get all the way out the studio and everything to about 4:00, and then I eat. Then I get full, and then I may not get hungry again until later at night, and then it's like fuck it, just go to sleep. So that's kind of by design, intermediate fasting. But anyway, but yeah, it got the best of me today. Shit, I'm starving. So I'm about to pass it to Lil Big Nate after I read the super chat. Shout out to Kevin C. Says graduate high school, college, tech school, military, start a business, get a job, get married, and produce kids in wedlock, roadmap to success and wealth. Yeah, they're like when it comes to like I mean, Hood Servers laid it out perfectly. I forgot which book laid that out, but that is a typical road to success.
Hey Bernard, that H&L is from Honduras, by the way. He said that in the chat after the first super chat.
Cool. Absolutely. Appreciate it. Appreciate you coming on through, dropping something on it from all the way from Honduras. Shout out to you, Kevin C. All right, so we got SKC and Lil Big Nate on, but go ahead, Lil Big Nate. I'm gonna pass you, and I'm gonna mute up and eat a little bit. So go ahead, Lil Big Nate. You got it.
No problem. I appreciate you letting me up, Bernard. Shout out to Hood, man. I didn't mean to come and bogard your stream or anything like that, man. Yeah, I enjoy sitting.
Welcome.
Oh,
yeah. You absolutely good. We almost an hour in. At that point, hey, it's time to open it on up either way. So yeah, you got it.
All right. I'm looking at the title. Let me read it real quick. Is white supremacy being used to gaslight black men with? Okay, who is it in America that thinks white people are supreme? Because 98.9, I think, percent of white people do not see themselves as superior. I'm sorry. They're dealing with their drug addiction. They're dealing with their odd sexual proclivities. They're dealing with keeping their daughter off the pole, keeping their son off methamphetamines. You listen to Baby Mama number 5, the creature from Seattle. And she talks about white supremacy and how the black man needs to conquer white supremacy and the black man's conquered and he can't do anything. And why do all these other people, some of which from places like India, Southeast Asia, who are blacker than us, why are they struggling to get to a country that's going to hold them back and keep their oppressive, big, greasy white foot on their neck all day? Why are they trying to get here? Why are South Americans, some of which who are darker than us, flooding to the border by the thousands, risking rape and risking getting abducted by human traffickers and being sold and all? Why are people, some of which are darker than us, struggling to get here? This doesn't make any sense. Let me tell you why people talk about white supremacy, why black people in particular talk about it. It's the same reason why an unproductive, unaccomplished black man would say, well, we really can't do much until we get the community. We got to get the black community together. It's a way to deflect from their deficiencies and their lack of accomplishments. If I can't do anything until quote unquote Black America gets it together, then I never have to get it together. I never do. My success is incumbent upon 45 million other people being successful, which as a conservative, we think is ridiculous. I'll be as successful as I choose to be, as diligent I am in becoming valuable in the marketplace, I'll be successful. White supremacy is the talk of failures. It really is. I'm sorry. Not that it doesn't exist, not that there aren't some racist white people. How can black people be the only people in the country who believe in white supremacy? This doesn't make any sense. Again, the white people themselves don't believe in it.
You don't hear the Mexicans talking about that. They just get here and set up shop. White supremacy be damned.
Motherfucker, come here, move into an apartment with 5 other Mexican men. In 5 years, he starts with a roofing company, and in 5 years, he's hiring a couple of guys to do the work in his roofing company. And the motherfucker's darker than me. So because some scumbag criminal either asphyxiated himself through a panic attack or was asphyxiated with some white cop's knee on his neck, a white police officer that I have heard no history of racism with, your porn star buddy, George Floyd, because this one criminal Negro male who in 2007 held a gun, he dressed as a city worker, forced his way into a woman's house, held the woman and her child at gunpoint while 4 or 5 other black men raided the house. So he got a 5-year sentence. He came out, I think, in 2009 and lived his life selling and using drugs, neglecting his children, having sex with a ton of different slob-ass women. And then he passed a fake $20 bill and wouldn't comply, and he's dead. And now we get to cause $10 billion of damage to private citizens' property and continue to destroy the image of Black America because a bunch of shitty, fucking, filthy, leftist, Democrat Black women and their dirty Negro-id males want to burn down the house we live in. Fuck that shit! I swear to God, I can't wait for the next niggas that wants to debate me. I'm going to cut his fucking throat open. Worse than I've cut the throat open of the niggas I've already debated on this shit. Slaughtering guys by 50 points. You will not defeat logic. Your emotions, your grievance, your broken, defeated nigga boy culture will never defeat logic. Let me stop where I'm ahead. Go ahead, SKC. I'm sorry. I'm done, y'all. I'm trying to calm down.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that was a lot. That was a lot, Nate.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. My tone, I know. I'm sorry. I apologize.
You gotta watch that tone.
I know, man.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
While you gather your thoughts, SKC, JC the Conqueror in the building says we've been indoctrinated. We've been indoctrinated to believe white people are the boogeyman, and we've been programmed to be Democrats. Agreed. See, Nate, that's the tone you have to strike right there. What he just said. That's the tone you have to strike.
I'll remember that. I'm sorry.
Shout out to Sir Tice, says Nate 2024.
No, sir. No parts of that shit. No,
Yeah.
Shout out to Tice, man. Hey, Tice, I'm getting Sub-Zero next week, man. Please.
Oh, that's gonna be a good one.
We got some work to do on these our Democrat brothers. We got some work to do on them. So Sub-Zero's coming through.
I was actually wanting to
you can circle it back to anything. You can even take us back to that clip that I played in the beginning. Wherever you want to take it, SKC, go ahead. You got it.
Okay, well, of course the clip stuff, but there was something that Hood Conservative said earlier where he was saying that all of it connects to the theme of your show today about the gaslighting. And he made note about a string of guests that you had on, and that common theme that about basically Black love and how people need to galvanize because there is a greater enemy, white supremacy abroad, that and blah blah blah. And it brought up some things to mind. I remember Alan Obi saying that that love, black love, is it's not romantic or anything. It's about unity. And he took it over to Africa and all those things. And now all of these black nations need to be together. And that's what the type of love that he's talking about is not emotional or and like, okay. And it seems to me that in a lot of the guests that you had recently, that bit about white supremacy being the motivation for why black people, particularly the genders, need to come together. Man, that is an odd foundation. I mean, think about that. You're using the terminology love, but it's based on a perceived hatred from other people.
Right.
That doesn't seem odd to you?
No, absolutely. Nate, there's another you in the back. Is that you? Or you? Okay, hold on. Okay, so
I fell off. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool. I didn't know if that was a troll account. Okay, cool. But no, passing it back to SKC, you make a good point. You're talking about black love, but I guess this in the backdrop of the sales pitch, or hell, not even in the backdrop, in the forefront of it, is we got to come together against in the name of this hatred that somebody else has for us. Yeah, I think that's more or less the sales pitch, if I understand it right. If I think that's the point that you were making. And shout out to Art. Shout out to Art. And hold on, real quick, 250 people in the building. I think only 111 on the likes. If I'm seeing that right, get the likes up. We bare minimum to be at 150. I allow for 100 hate watchers. So we're not gonna break 200, but we should be able to get this up to 150. Definitely be able to get this up to 150. So get the likes up. All right, go ahead, SKC.
No, and I was just thinking how you look at that. This quote unquote unity, and how the terminology black love, it seems more and more that it has nothing to do with black men ever being happy. Well, I mean, Mary J. Blige can make a song, "I just want to be happy," but black men, no. You need to do this work. like what?
Well,
that's some weird. I'll go ahead, but I'm trying to understand this.
Let me you, SKC, when you have a chance.
Okay, just hold your thought on that question. Okay, Nate. Okay, I mean not Nate, but SKC. I'll explain it like this. And sometimes I'd like to help the opposition's argument. I'll repackage their argument and make it better, so we'll have something legitimate to talk about. Because sometimes their arguments be bullshit to the
please
point
do.
Where I try to help their argument. Okay, there is a such thing as doing a duty and doing what works. Grandma and grandpa didn't always love each other, wasn't always the happiest, but they understood the bigger, greater picture. So they rolled up their sleeves and made it happen. Maybe they learned to love each other. Maybe they learned to be happy. But at the end of the day, as far as this, community thing goes, they did produce, 6, 7 kids. Like I literally know that situation where somebody, they whether they had ups and downs in their marriage. The fact of the matter is we're talking older people. This is, well, actually both of the people I'm talking about are no longer with us, but because they got, their kids are in their 50s at this point. They produced 7 kids that all grew up and became, very productive individuals. Most of them, got married and had kids. So, for the overall greater good, a sacrifice of individual happiness could be made for, the next generation. But, it was more a sacrifice that they made together as a people. I mean, as 2 people, who came together through their ups and downs, and they made it work in the name of family. So there is a such thing as making a sacrifice like that some people have done and some people do. And so from an individual household working and functioning and making sure that that household functions and works, it may not always get to be fun games, smiles and roses and flowers and daisies. It may not get to be all of that. So from that standpoint, I can understand what they're saying. Where I understand it less is when they talk about some amorphous, overarching group displeasure and unhappiness, because then it lends to them basically saying, as a group, this group of men, just be unhappy and accept whatever bullshit, the other side, the product, so to speak, isn't going to change, isn't going to get better, except this bullshit. It turns into that type of situation. But go ahead.
Right. And I understand that side of putting it in, I guess, framing the argument in that way.
Mm-hmm.
However, there's still a problem with that. Even if you want to put it down to the macro and say, hey, there were these families that did it like this back in the past and blah, blah, blah. And, they learned to love each other, but they knew that there was a bigger goal in place and blah. Okay. Why didn't any of that apply from 1965 to today when it came to the women? Hey, no, you can't go out and just, shake your behind and blah, 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 because, there's a bigger goal in play and you can't do that. Why didn't any of that apply?
That'd be a good question to ask them, because that is the right question. that is the right question, and it can't go back to we can
and when they had songs out there like I just want to be happy, or I just want to do this. What, girl, it ain't about the happiness. This is about the black love and the I guess the community time, blah blah blah. Why didn't those discussions happen then?
It goes back to the discussion that I had with Mr. Let Go, and we keep bringing him up because
oh yeah, it goes back then to the whole thing of the women are like children.
Well, he don't believe that, because if I asked him, so you don't think they should be allowed to vote, right? I'm sure he wouldn't say no, they shouldn't be allowed to vote. They shouldn't be able to run and have executive positions in major companies. I'm sure he wouldn't, he wouldn't hold the line on that one. So whenever they say women are like children, they're saying that just, I think, to try to gaslight black men into making a bigger sacrifice. Because
that's what it is. Because if you throw that into all of these, like you were saying, like CEOs and political representation and blah 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 blah. Okay, well then the question comes up: why would you want to be represented by children?
Mm-hmm. So yeah, so that part is some bull. But just speaking to that conversation, and this goes back to what you're saying, why that doesn't apply to women. I ended up having to ask him, is you're saying that men need to behave community minded with people who, based off his own words, made non-community minded decisions. It ends up in a situation where he's telling you do it for the team when somebody else is conducting themselves in a way that communicates, I'm not on your team. So that's where the argument breaks down on their end. But give me a second, GC.
Now, I was laughing about the whole thing yesterday, and I probably will do another stream today. I have to have an encore. I had so many emails about it, but there was something I was thinking about. And good grief, I have to give this to my wife. We were talking about it last night, and she's the bleeding heart of the family. And she stated, I don't think that he was crying about the black men doing their thing, and she said it seemed like something underneath that was present. And so we kind of delved into it a bit more, and she came to the opinion that she believes that the tears and the crying came from a realization that the dream is dying.
Well,
all
We
of
can think
that,
about that.
all of that.
Let me go.
dream?
Let me throw it back to Hood Conservative on that. Oh, Lynette, you was holding your thought on the question. Please keep on your thought on that.
sure.
I want Hood Conservative perspective.
No problem.
On
No problem.
I'm
what do
just
you think
curious.
about?
What dream is that? Like, what dream are we talking about? The dream where the men are forever like chattel? The dream where
No,
the
she was
men
talking.
have to be loyal to someone who is disloyal? Like, what dream?
Well, she was talking about the dream of kind of like what Alan Obi is thinking in mind of this whole come togetherness, blackness, and then the black man jumps into his role and he uplifts the black woman and gets her mind right and all that. Well, when you see people saying, pretty much F that, I'm gonna go do something else. I think that's what hurt the most, because then the realization comes in of, okay, the era of Big Mama is over. I'm never going to see that again. It's over.
Yeah, the thing is, Big Mama killed the era of Big Mama, though. See, what we don't really acknowledge about Big Mama is she rested on the shoulders of her husband. Like, my grandmother was like, Big Mama of the family, but my grandmother was married, and when her husband died, she just went on to be Big Mama of the family. And so, like, you don't really get that with this new family dynamic. It's just not going to happen the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and back to the topic of the stream, I want to talk a little bit about, is white supremacy being used to gaslight black men? I want, and I've asked this of Hoteps over the last 15 or so years. Can you name for me all the white people in your life that have some level of power over you? There's one white man who has any type of control over me, and that's my supervisor at my job. I'm an auto damage appraiser. My supervisor, he comes, we do ride reviews, we go get lunch, I take him back to his hotel, he goes back to the upstate South Carolina. That is the one white man that has any ability to cause me any problems or harm. So of course I'm going to be nice to him.
Nate. I think it's a false argument that's being put forth. They don't believe that the white man has all this power over individual black. They don't even move in that way. They don't make decisions in a way that shows that there's old white supremacy. You think about their streams and stuff. We're streaming secretly because the white people will shut this down. They don't want, come on, that stuff doesn't happen.
So a glitch in your Wi-Fi is the white man shutting down this revolutionary stream of yours. Gotcha.
But what they're using that for, what they're gaslighting that for, they're using it to gaslight some type of, to try to regenerate relationships. And think about that. You have to use the hatred of a perceived hatred of other people to try to regenerate relationships between people, as if white people are making are the the issue that are keeping black people apart.
Well, having a boogeyman helps. It always helps having a boogeyman. You get to any deficiencies or problems in your life that really are solely your responsibility, you can put on the boogeyman. You can blame the boogeyman, the government, the white man. It could get to the point where we're blaming black women, in all honesty. They're responsible for the things they do, but if you're a free-thinking man, I don't know what power ABWs and are supposed to have over you.
Yeah, I mean, it comes to this, Nate. And I was talking about this the other day. They will use certain terminology like, oh no, the conversation needs to be framed correctly from their point of view, and you need to understand the history. You need to understand what happened to the quote unquote black family. You need to have a long reaching view of all of this so that you will understand what is your responsibility in your actions today.
The hereditary.
Now that's being put on the table as option, as the only option, and then other people are saying, well, there's another option. I can just don't have to learn any of that, and I can go over to these people who don't know anything about this. They don't understand the struggle. They don't care about if I'm real or and all this other stuff, and I get better treatment.
Yeah, no, I understand.
But the person who understands all of the struggle, they treat you. They're some of the people that treat you the worst.
Well, it's trauma bonding. That's all.
I think there's something else at play, and this is where I really take offense to it. When a lot of these guys when they get around the black women, like when you listen to Obi, he talks to black women, and it's a conversation. There's nothing negative or secretly disrespectful about it, right? But when they talk to men, they sell men fear. And whether it's love or politics, because I kind of focus on the politics. I don't really focus on the relationship stuff too much, but I notice that all the time. It's like, you got nothing to control me with but fear. And if I were to allow myself to give into fear, then I suppose I'll be doing whatever it is you got programmed for me. But ultimately, that's what's really happening here. If they can induce fear into you as a man, then you get stuck on whatever plantation that they want you to be on. But it's ultimately all about fear. Fear is a control mechanism. And so through fear, they can control you. If they can have you afraid of going, like the dude that was crying before, you a lick when you go to these other countries. Like, bro, you a lick when you go in black neighborhoods. What are you talking about? But it's fear.
And ultimately, what they want are the hardworking, industrious, law-abiding black men that they largely rejected to go and fix the guys they like to screw. That's
No, Nate. That can't be, Nate. That can't be. And I have to throw. And I have to throw.
No, I would disagree
GC
too,
in that
because we're talking about
conversation.
men. We're talking about men, Nate. We're not even talking about the women.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
And I have to add GC in there because I remember seeing on a lot of shows and I'm pretty sure GC has a bunch of stuff in his archives of a few years ago. We don't even need to talk to these dudes. What's the point of even a convert? They're lame. Just let them do it. Leave already.
Yeah, the guys that
this time leave already.
The guys you
what
actually
happened?
Build a society and a community with are the guys that you reject and tell to go away. Cool. And that's why we have such a tremendous brain drain in the black community. Our best and brightest men, quote unquote, leave after years of ridicule, rejection, never having access to our most attractive women. What the hell would they stay for? It makes no sense.
Well, the black community, the black
a
woman's
statement a couple of years ago was
what?
No, the statement a couple of years ago, and you can have it, GC, was just leave already. Shut up and leave.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that the women were saying that. Basically, what the community is designed to do is to get black men to undervalue themselves. The reason why they behave like that towards the hardworking or the educated or, the productive black man is simply put, they don't want him to know his value to them. So they're going to continue to put him down. Lame is just really a term that can be used on anyone. It doesn't really have a description, or it has a very subjective description. So they just say, oh, no, you're lame. Therefore, you do not have the right to demand anything or more from your woman. The neglect that Little Big Nate is talking about is also a method and technique to try to humble the black men. Basically, what they want you to do is they want you to sell your dick at a discount. And unfortunately, black men have sold their dick, the world's biggest dick, at a discount for far too long. And it is far too long. So that is why you see so many relationships where, the man is more handsome than the woman is pretty. Even the man out earns the woman. Nobody on this planet should be with Tawana Burke, but there you go. You see this systemic, nagging or, humiliation that they put black men too is really just meant to humble you. They insult the, the productive ones the same way that they insult the non-productive ones. They're going to look for something to say, okay, you are not worthy of better. And then when they can't find something, they'll dig into your history. So it's really just fruitless to say, and I just recommend that men stick to their guns. They say, like, this is my dick. This is what it's worth. Either give it or go. Like, that's where you begin and end with that.
Interesting. Very interesting. Wow. We're jumping all over the place as far as the subject is concerned, but I wish, and this is the question I wanted to ask SKC, and please don't take offense to this, and I would so greatly appreciate it if you would answer it, SKC. You talked about going to where the women that I encounter might make me happy, or having options with women that could make me happy. Would you take a moment, SKC, and explain to any Black woman, I know you don't normally talk to these ladies, but tell them just what makes a guy like SKC happy? What type of woman? Would you, I'm asking on behalf of the decent women that might want to know, they might come across an SKC, an IT guy, graphic guy, and, he doesn't fit the stereotypical idea of what a, fly nigga's supposed to be. But, they're open to giving him a chance and seeing what's what exact, and for the women who actually care to be what a proper man wants them to be, which is another huge problem with the way Black women think in this country. It's not just them, of course, but the reason the focus is on Black women, because they have the largest contingent of terrible people. They just do. Not all Black women are, of course not. There's a certain percentage of white women that are trash. There's a certain percentage of every type of woman that's trash, but there's a large percentage of these women that are just absolutely off limits to any man who wants anything of value in this world. Just, you got to leave them alone. But for the decent ones who might be listening, would you explain what type of woman would make SKC happy?
I don't really delve into the personal, and I don't even think it would matter anyway, because it's
Okay.
like, what's the point? I was watching a little short. Actually some young dude here in Houston, and for some reason he was being interviewed by some older Black woman, and she was up here talking about stuff about Brazil, and do you know what could possibly happen to you over there? And I was like, okay, and I thought he did a great job in his response when he said, I didn't ask. I didn't ask for your thoughts on, your opinion on this. And so I think that would be similar to my response when you think about the question that you put out so far as what would make a person like me happy. Everyone is different. And we always say this thing about, Black men are not a monolith. So I can't give an answer as to what would make.
Whoa! I asked
quote unquote,
you. I asked you that.
yeah. That
I understand you're not wanting to answer it. I got no problem with that, but I did ask you. I asked you.
Yeah, I mean what makes me happy, Mrs. SKC. That's it. That my kids, family, and all that stuff. But when we talk about like the macro, and get out of the minor conversations of personal stuff, yeah, I think you need to have a group of people to understand that there's no cheat code to Black male happiness. No, you need to use your energy, use your time to figure these guys out individually, and then treat them accordingly.
Well, these men make it abundantly clear what they want. It's just that the overwhelming majority of them, and they've stated this, that they don't care.
Well, I
Well,
think
Dave,
that
I think
I think the overwhelming majority are stating the very basic things. They haven't even gotten into if these people haven't even gotten into the point of understanding who they are, what makes them tick individually. GC Hood Conservative, we agree on a lot of things, but we're totally different people. So it's like you can't just throw something out there to a group to say, well, this would make us happy and such. It's like, no. There's some basic things that you would do to treat humans
well, that's it,
in a good
SJC.
way.
I
I think
disagree,
the answer is
SJC.
a little bit. I think the answer isn't all that complicated. Like
It's
you said,
not. It's
Mrs.
not.
SKC makes you happy and your family, and I would probably add a third, success at work, because as men we kind of are what we do, and so the more successful we are in our particular field, the more that generates internal pride. And so I would argue that the secret for male happiness isn't that mysterious. It's just that when we're having these conversations about black love, male happiness is never one of the. It's not a factor. No one gives a shit if you're happy.
And also it's let's be honest, SKC, it's not some convoluted, hard to understand thing. There are some basic universal things that 90+% of men want in women. And again, that it's not just black women, of course, but a lot of American women just aren't interested in being those things.
Well,
So
I put it to you this way, Nate.
sure,
Because maybe I'm coming up from it from a more I'll just say from a different perspective.
sure.
Okay, a lot of the basic things that guys are talking about, um, every female in Mrs. SKC's family fits that dynamic.
Interesting.
But I don't want everyone in there. I just want the one. And then there becomes a whole bunch of other little things that are personal to me.
Of course.
So when people say this whole thing like, oh, it's just not that complicated, dudes just want this, just a basic thing. No, I mean I'm different in that respect, I guess. No, I'm not looking for just the bare minimum.
I didn't. I wasn't suggesting you were. It really was just a simple question. What type? I think it's important for the women that are interested in hearing that small percentage, gentlemen, calm down. That small percentage, that small percentage of women who are actually interested in what a man may want to hear it, so they can make whatever adjustments they need to make. Again, I'm in no way suggesting.
No.
Well, you
I'm
know
just
what, Nate?
I'm just saying that what I guess from my perspective, Nate, what I'm saying is that um it does, to me, I'm saying it doesn't even make sense to make those arguments at this point because it you're trying to teach calculus to retards.
I don't think everybody in the class is a retard, SKC. I don't think so. We disagree.
Yeah,
Well,
I think it's
I would take it in
go
in a
ahead.
different direction. I would take it in a slightly different direction in that at the point of the conversation where black male happiness would be the subject to discuss, that's when they bring up white supremacy. And if you really were to focus on what makes men happy, it would kill the whole black conversation. Like we
Well,
can have a dating and a love conversation, but once it comes down to black, you're not supposed to be happy. You have to be down with the cause. You got to be on code.
Hood, it's a matter of until you conquer white supremacy, we don't need to worry about you black men being happy.
No, and hey,
That's
look,
ultimately what it is.
Yeah,
but
that's
even
why it's
if
a
you conquer
perpetual
white
gaslight.
supremacy, yeah, even if you conquer white supremacy, they're not promising you happiness. No, nowhere in that contract does it say you will be happy when white supremacy is dead. Read the contract; it's not in there.
Well,
Oh my God, we gotta conquer white supremacy before you can make me a sandwich. Really?
Let me throw it at you this way,
real quick, hold on.
Nate.
The perfect storm in the building says Mr. Lego wants voluntary indentured servitude for black women. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. Telescope 3 says black love is based on lack of options. Okay. He says those barriers are coming down. Bye bye black love. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. D-Rock Den says today's Big Mama is a sugar. Oh, wow. Today's Big Mama is a sugar mama / post thought. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. Also, thank you. Shout out to, I believe this is also D-Rock Den, who sent a $5 cash app, says for a great topic today. Do appreciate everybody who come through on the cash app and appreciate everybody supporting the stream so far. I was who was that? Yeah, that was SKC that was about to speak. Go ahead, you got it.
Real quickly, GC. To put it in a different form, Nate, why should guys need to tell a population the basics of what they want as to what would make them happy? Shouldn't the other portion want to do that anyway?
Well, no, they should be inquiring. They should be asking.
So if they don't know how to do that, and this is supposed to be the same culture, the same subset of people, maybe they're just not interested, Big Nate.
I said
so telling them that it doesn't make any sense, because these are people that's sitting up here talking about they understand your struggle. Why would you have to explain to them what would make you happy?
SKC, you keep speaking in absolutes. You're speaking as if every single one of them is that way, and that's just not true.
Well, no,
I know the majority of them may be, but
it's something. It's something. Hold on, little Big Nate. It's something more, possibly insidious going on by SKC. I think he's charging you up with trying to save every last one of them. I think that's what's happening.
you know that's not me. If you listen to my show, you know
no,
that's
but
not me.
I know that's not you, but that's why I said
not me.
I know that's not you, but that's why I said something insidious is going on with SKC.
No, and I don't think it has to be insidious. I think we just have to be blunt about what's going on here. It's a culture problem. So to say that every single one of them is not like that doesn't really help the point. It's the culture.
No,
it's standard practice.
No, it's not a matter of saying every single one is not like that. I'm saying SKC is charging little Big Nate up with trying to save every single one of them.
No,
I'm actually just coming at it straight. I'm saying this. Take for something as simple as a few weeks ago, the missus, she surprised me with something. Okay, I didn't tell her that I like this. She did the research. She found out. That's what I'm saying. This is like, why would you need to telegraph to people what you like? If they're interested and they like you, they would want to find out and do it.
Mm-hmm. True. No,
why are you trying to put the program in the machine? Like there's some type of.
Let me, if I could, real quick. Let me just give you my perspective. You know, I'm a single dad and shit. You know, raised my daughter. My daughter had a friend, and I told this story on Bernard's right before my channel started. And my daughter in sophomore year, she met another young lady, who she would go over the house and spend the night. You know, I'd go pick her up. And me and the mom talked because the daughter wanted to come to my house. And, you know, you can imagine a 16-year-old girl, you may not want her to go to a single dad's house. But I talked with the mom. Everything was cool. Her and my daughter were really good friends. She would come over maybe once every couple of months. She'd come over, spend a Saturday. Her mom would pick her up Saturday night after dinner or something. And she'd sit at my dining room table. And I took it as an opportunity, you know, to instill in her what I've instilled in my two children. Do you know that at 19, and again, I talked about this on your channel right before my channel started, when I announced it, she got married at 19. I'm not going to say solely because of what I would tell her, but it had a lot to do with it. And I remember when my daughter called me and told me, you know, such and such got married. I said, really? She married a machinist, a 24-year-old machinist in Columbia, South Carolina. When my daughter, she was pregnant, my daughter went down. She was the godmother. She let me speak to her. And she's like, yeah, Mr. Burwell, I took myself off of social media. I don't do nothing but focus on my family. I don't even want to be on social media. I say, good for you. Good for you. I gave them my number. I said, yo, if any of you have any issues, just give me a call. I'm sorry, but you can teach some of them. I've taught my daughter. She doesn't mean she's going to be perfect. And if she goes out and destroys herself, I'll be the first to tell you. And I've also said that when my daughter went to go live with her mother, I told her, I said, you disregard what I've taught you. I'll let this world rip you to pieces. I will let this world rip you to pieces. I may be a daughter,
I
but
get what you're
I don't let
saying,
her
Nate.
pass.
I get what you're saying, Nate, and
So
you know
yeah,
that would be
some
a
of
great
them might be
responsibility
teachable.
for you as a father. But the only thing that I'm saying is at that point, that's within your own family. But
Yeah.
outside of that, when it comes to you know, some other guy or not, it becomes a slippery slope of getting into the CJ and the other guys stating,
Oh
well, they
God,
just need a little coaching. It's like,
no,
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 no. By that
no,
time, it's like, no, no.
no,
Oh,
no.
you got to
I'm
coach
not. I'm not
somebody
asking black
to,
men.
to make you happy. You're like, come on,
I'm not asking black men to go do anything. You don't have to do anything. Do whatever works for you. It's just that also don't go around telling other black men what to do. If this is what I choose, not you telling black men what to do, but guys like CJ or Mr. Let Go telling other black men what they're obligated to do for this quote unquote community. As an
no,
individual, decide what you want to do.
yeah, and I get that. And all I'm saying is that's why I didn't want to get into that conversation, because then it becomes a point of like you're trying to coach some people into how to have better relationships and well,
No, I
what
don't do
black men want and blah blah. It's like, come on, man, you
no,
can't figure that out as a grown person. If you don't understand um how to interact with people, particularly someone that you are trying to have a long-term relationship with, you've already lost.
Well, there is a place or an avenue or venues where coaching people on how to, I guess, how to relationship or relate with the opposite sex is a thing. This ain't necessarily the venue. So I mean, that ain't exactly what I do, but it is a thing that exists where where women go, and I guess they I don't know, learn general shit about men or how to properly be a woman to a man. I mean, it does sound goofy. It does sound goofy. It does come off as goofy, but
It sounds really goofy. I mean, some of the
no,
basic
I
stuff
get
that
it.
we're talking about is treat another person like a human being. Be interested in the other person.
I mean,
Understand
dating
their
coaches
needs
exist
and
though.
concerns. It's like, come on.
Understand that, but dating coaches. I mean, not even talking about the game coaches. The black the game coaches for men and all that. I'm talking about there is such thing as actual dating coaches who do actually coach and counsel people and make decent money doing it. So it is a thing.
And they have the men that can testify to their success.
Yeah, I mean, it is a thing like that. That's not my thing. That's not exactly what I do. I do social
I
commentary
think
on the shit, but
I
so
think there's
Nate
something else though.
did take it. Nate did sort of take us down that down that path where where SKC is almost on some like
I just
domestic
asked the
stuff.
question.
No, I get it. I get it. I
just
get it.
asked the question.
Yeah.
Well, I think part of the reason why it's almost like it doesn't matter is, and it is just me speaking personally. That's not how I see it. Black men aren't necessarily human beings in the eyes of black women. And frankly, in the eyes of all those men who say, you got to love black women to fight white supremacy, you don't see me as a human being either. And that's really why it's pointless at that point. Why does it matter telling you what I like? You don't even think I'm a human. You don't even think I'm a real person. I'm just like an avatar against white supremacy.
But hood conservative,
So
black love is a revolutionary act.
I'll be honest.
So the whole white supremacy thing is really just we all know that it's a way to keep the black men on the plantation. But the truth of the matter is, for those of you who wish to fight white supremacy, black women want white supremacy. They're more comfortable with white supremacy than anything. In fact, I was on Ike's panel last week, and the woman just straight out said that I would prefer white male leadership over Latin, Asian, and African leadership. So they basically plainly said it. Listen, Everybody else outside of white men, they limit the liberties of the women. Under white supremacy, women of all races have more liberty than they have ever had at any point in history ever. They're not going to give that up. They
That
don't.
repressive patriarchal group.
Please, brother. Yeah, they are not going to give that up. No matter the complaints is only to galvanize you. It's only to get you to unite under their vagina, and so that they can offer you. If you try to attack white supremacy, if they seen that you gain any traction or success, they will turn against you because they want to maintain it. They don't know what black supremacy would look like. They don't understand a world without white supremacy. They, for all they know, it could be far worse. For all they know, we could start binding feet and shit. It could be on some Handmaid's Tale shit. They do not know. They will continue to allow white supremacy. With that,
well, hold on, wait, Game Changer. When you keep saying white supremacy, are you saying it as they describe it? Because I don't even like me.
Well, I'm referring to the power structure in which white men make laws. So the laws that says things like no fault divorce, that's white supremacy. Alimony, white supremacy. Child support, white supremacy. Welfare, white supremacy. Well, right quick. All the things that they use in abundance and use to leverage against black men is white supremacy. Make no mistake, they welcome it. They revel in it. They cherish it. They worship it. They will continue this gravy train until it ends.
Yeah, but I think it's effective that okay. I'm fumbling on my words here. The shit that you just described, that's really not white supremacy.
No, I know, but it's what they call white supremacy. Is what
okay, good. I'm glad we're on the same page.
What I mean is they're not going to tip the current Western power structure.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Can I chime in real quick? I would be honest with you. Again, if you listen to my show, I don't really abide by this black love conversation thing. Conversation is an exchange of ideas and thoughts between at least two people. That's a conversation. There has not been a black love conversation for the last 40 years. Black women have had every single opportunity on every single solitary media platform to say what they think. Their issues with black men, some of them relevant, some of them legitimate, many of them complete bullshit. There hasn't been a black love conversation. And from this point forward, there also doesn't need to be. We sat down for this conversation, let's say in the year 2000, we sat down across from these women and they started off with their black love conversation. They hogged the mic for 40 fucking years. What are you attempting to converse with these women for? You could say whatever you want about me and my approach and what I'm doing. I don't converse with them. I tell them what is going to happen. And those that want to subscribe to it do. The rest of them, I don't care what happens to them. I just don't care what happens to them. It does not matter to me. And it shouldn't matter to any man what a woman who doesn't want to recognize what a proper man is, and then get under that man's leadership as soon as humanly possible. To hell with her. Let the world rip her apart. It's her business. There's no need for a conversation right now. They spoke for 40 years unencumbered and uninterrupted. It's time for us to speak. And if they don't want to listen, that's their right. Go. You don't have to listen to this. But the ones who want to listen, the only thing you can do is ask me questions. I am not getting into a fucking back and forth with you. Just look at your stats. There is no reason I need to acknowledge listening to your side of the argument right now. The most I'm going to let you do is ask me questions. Ask me whatever question you'd like. I'll answer it to give you clarity. But I am not conversing or negotiating. You either accept what I have to say or you can carry yourself on, madam. That's it.
All right. I guess we can Sort of circling back to the main topic, because I mean, okay, the main topic, is white supremacy being used to gaslight black men. I guess in that discussion, if it's not clear on what white supremacy is, and I see what Game Changer was doing, because Game Changer said, well, okay, well, not white supremacy, Western power structure, and Telescope 3 is saying, yeah, that equals white supremacy. Now, on Game Changer's point on how this Western power structure and
Well,
how black women benefit from this Western power structure, I think better worded is that we're fucking Americans and we
oh,
benefit from being Americans.
well,
And
let's
that's
do.
so and so and so let me land the plane here.
Mhm.
So when they saying defeat white supremacy, you are absolutely right that they're saying defeat this thing that this Western power structure, aka America, this thing that we benefit from as Americans. They're saying defeat that, but you're absolutely right. They don't want it defeated. They don't want America defeated. They love America. They talk shit about it, but they love it. They don't want to see it defeated. They don't want to see it brought down. They don't want to see it go under. They want it to stay with it like it is, and they want it to thrive, and they want to thrive even more in it. But and so they understand that, but in conversation with black men, then that's when it stops being this wonderful, great country of America that they benefit from because they're citizens of it. And if you're a citizen of a country, I guess I mean, at some level, deserve. I mean, you got to roll up your sleeves and make something happen. But in this country, hell, if you're a woman in a certain situation, you don't got to roll up your sleeves. It's laid out and made easy for you, or there's social safety nets and blah 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 blah. We know all of that. But at the end of the day, this country that they benefit from, that they like, that they love, that they enjoy reaping the benefits from, as they should, as a citizen, as citizens of it. In discussions with black men, they take off they take off that coat and put on another one and say, no, we're oppressed under white supremacy and you need to go defeat that. Otherwise, don't say nothing to me about nothing. That's essentially what's going on. And I think that's
Yeah.
the general premise of the question in the topic here. So I do think it was, I guess right now with 286 people in here, I think it's probably good to touch bases back with where we started out.
Sure.
So
I
Well,
can chime in real
let me say
quick.
this.
so
Let me
like
say
yeah,
this.
go ahead, GC.
Okay, so it's important that we don't get caught up in semantics. Western power structure, white supremacy. The point is that they want to keep things the way that they are. The only changes that they want to see is more benefits for being a woman. So, and I'm not saying you. I'm really referring to Telescope 3 more so. It's really important not to get caught up in the linguistics of it. They call it white supremacy so you can feel subordinate. It's basically a shaming language
Bingo.
thing.
Yes, that's why I got a little cringy when you kept calling it white supremacy, because I'm like, once we start calling it that, then it's like we've conceded to some oppression or something that we need to go. It's conceding one of their arguments. It's conceding their biggest gaslighting argument that long as this thing exists, then we are inadequate. But this thing that exists when you scratch beneath the surface is a functioning Western country that we're a part of. So that's why I have my pushback
Bernard,
against that. But go ahead. I mean,
Bernard.
no, I cut GC off. Go ahead and
Oh,
finish,
my bad.
GC.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I lost my train of thought, but definitely,
My bad.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. We definitely don't want to get caught in the semantics of it. I mean, they're going to push this narrative if they really worried or fear, white supremacy or anything like that, or they were concerned by it as they were in the past, and their behaviors would replicate that of the past. They would assure communities and families would stay closer together, close knit, just for safety purposes alone. They would have more children, and they would assure that there's a man who's not the white man in their house. Why is it that it's white men that they call on black men and black men that they call on white men? They are trying to continue to benefit from the contention that black men and white men have had over the past years. It's not going to happen. You're not going to call Pookie and Ray Ray on a white dude that insults you or serves you cold French fries and then call the cops on Pookie and Ray Ray any longer. You know, I mean, that ship has sailed. You got it, Nate.
Well, there's one thing I do disagree with GC on. He says black women want things to stay the same. There's one thing that they definitely want to change, and they want black men to facilitate this change, right? They want you to, even if necessary, give your life to put them in Miss Ann's seat. They want to sit where Miss Ann sits. It kills them for whatever reason that they don't have they're not the beauty standard. They're not the figure and object of everybody's desire like Miss Ann supposedly is. I'm not even interested in white women usually. And that's true of a lot of black men. But she wants to sit there. She wants to be the beauty standard. She wants to be the focus of attention. She wants to be the one that everybody, you know, worries about upsetting, and she wants to sit in that seat. And if you got to give your life to make that happen, then so be it.
Well, attractive black women do sit in that seat. What you're describing is more of an ugly problem than a black problem. No, it is. It is. Beyonce has sat comfortably in that seat for years. So has Rihanna and many others. Yes, I do. So yeah, it's not really. And Halle Berry has sat in that seat for quite some time. She kind of sat on the Iron Throne when it came to that. Dorothy Dandridge before her, or the Kid. You know, the list goes on and on. So yeah, they are beautiful women are comfortable sitting in that seat. Now, what they want to do is, and this is what all ugly women want to do, is they want the beauty standard to be flipped from beautiful to whatever the fuck they look like. So that is what all women want. It's not just a black women thing. You know, like if a man is short, of course, you know, he's going to want short to be the new tall, you know, or if a man is, I don't know, have an excessive amount of nose hairs, he's going to want that to be the new sexy or something like that. But the truth of the matter is the beauty standard is where it is. It's not really going to go anywhere, no matter how much they change it, you know, because what it simply boils down to is, you know, you can't dictate what my dick takes.
Well, you know, and back to the white supremacy conversation. I mean, let's be honest. And this is what I really just don't like about your average rank and file black people. Who would you expect the Caucasian to put as his beauty standard? What the hell is wrong with you? Why do you think black people can have their exclusive groups, their college groups? You know, this part of the cafeteria is only for black people. And I've said, when I did my first stream on Bernard Raleigh, why I'm voting for Donald Trump, I said, why do you black people care if white people like you or not? Why do you care if white people don't like you? Let me rephrase that.
Well,
if 99.999% of white people have no power over you, why do you even care if they don't like you?
Well, women are always going to want to be, you know, wanted by men, even if they don't want the men that they want to be wanted by. That's just
well, that's why we don't think like women.
Now, as far, well, I'm thinking for them in this particular instance, but as far as white beauty standards, it seems as though they lean more towards Asian women than they do white women. I mean, white men, like any smart group of men, are going to go after the most reputedly submissive women Asians, out there, yes. which now is the Asian woman. So yeah, white women are losing in that regard. Now, never will, in the sense that you're describing, Nate, will a black woman completely replace the white woman in that regard, because all of the white man's success was due to the aid and the works of the helpmate of a white woman. So they're going to want to continue that. Also, the legacy of success will end with their sons if they get with anything other than a white woman. So any white man who looks at the world in terms of race is not really going to take that deal, especially from a black woman whose genes will dominate his completely. So it's, yeah, they're barking up the wrong bush when it comes to that.
It's foolishness. again, let's just deal with reality. I would expect white men to put his biological counterpart as the standard of beauty. Why isn't there concern? What do black men want as their standard of beauty? It's just
Well, if a lot of black men are starting to openly discuss dating out, what does that do to the psyche of the black women who they're not even desired by the white man, and then find out that the black man who was born for them they're not really feeling them like that either? Like, I'm sure that's a shot to the ego.
So
well, I've actually heard a black woman say, and I think Ed probably could speak on this too. I think I actually heard a black woman say that if white men, I don't even know how it works. I don't know if there's a fucking white male delegation that decides on this shit, but basically they some black women. They was more or less saying if their features and skin tone or the way that they look was made to be the beauty standard in this country, they said they're full blown accept that as reparations, like literally, like so that's that's where they at with it when it comes to that. They would accept that as full blown reparations.
It is reparations simply because being a beauty standard turns into economic gain. So for them, that would be it. That would be something that they can use and maneuver into their thing. But it's not going to happen.
It still sounds fucked up, though.
Well, no, it does. But the truth of the matter is it's never going to happen because collectively they're too fucking ugly. So it won't change in that regard to their benefit. And furthermore, not only
explain what you mean by too ugly. You're saying that you don't like the way their face look.
Okay, so what I mean by that is that beauty takes work, and they don't put in the work collectively. So that's what I mean. They don't, put in the gym time. They don't put in the, and the self-care regimen and things like that. So
look, you got.
That's what I mean. I'm not talking about from a genetic standpoint. Go for it.
Look, you got high-profile black men like Nick Cannon saying they stink. What the hell?
Yeah, so and that's an example of not putting in the work. Somebody's echoing and stuff, but
no, that was good. He muted.
Okay, cool. But yeah, no, that's an example of not putting in the work. And that's something as basic as hygiene. So that's what I mean by collectively too damn ugly. If they want to be the beautiful beauty standard, the best way to do it is to become more beautiful. Genetically, they have the ability, they have the aptitude to be more beautiful. They're just too damn lazy in that regard. And also, they need to be violently against ugly bitches, in the sense that they need to hide their bruised fruit. They need to hide their ugly representation of them, but they don't. I mean, there's a ugly bitch army movie out coming out in theaters pretty soon called The Woman King, where you have Chief Ugly Bitch leading a group of uglier bitches into battle against men of both white and black men. If I were a black woman, I would lash out against this. I would definitely say I do not want to be represented as an ugly ass savage beast. But nope, they're not going to fight against it. They're going to fight you for not saying that these ugly bitches are beautiful. That is the sickness that they are doing to their own reputation. They have the power to make that change, to make sure that they're only represented in the most beautiful light and to behave in a beautiful manner, consistently, but they don't. They just want to be seen no matter how fucked up they look.
And to be honest with you, and some people are not going to like what I'm about to say, but I don't care. If we're being honest, their political allegiance is what has led to their lack of beauty. All right. 60 years under leftist Democrat rule and feminism is going to turn any woman on earth ugly and disgusting. What else is a woman that aborts almost half of her children? She's going to become ugly. A woman believes that You're not supposed to be under the tutelage of a man. She's going to become ugly. It's a man's guidance and leadership that's going to keep you safe from making horrible mistakes. It's going to end up ruining your life. These women are made ugly by their terrible decision making. And who are they under the leadership of? It ain't black men. Okay. And it's not black men like the black men I surround myself with and brothers that appear on Bernard's channel regularly. They are under the tutelage and leadership of the left. And that is an irrefutable fact. They've been told to be promiscuous, be whores, let all sorts of different strange men's babies fall out of their pussies. That's going to turn any woman ugly. White feminists, I call them the pasty skunk. They're ugly and disgusting. Look at the political allegiance of all the ugly women. I guarantee you the thread of commonality you'll see is that they're goddamn Democrats usually. When you go look at a conservative channel like Fox News or Newsmax, why are the women always so goddamn attractive? Because conservatism, in all honesty, if you live the principles, it helps make you a beautiful woman. And you can take it or leave it. If you want to debate about it, contact Brother X.
Well, it definitely rewards beauty more so than liberalism. I will give you that. I also I think it's safe to point out, and it definitely should be. It's worth note to say that The Woman King is written by a white woman.
Really?
So
as it should be.
Yeah.
So hold on. Why do you say as it should be?
I mean, think about it. Go all the way from Gloria Steinem to today.
Yeah. No, basically, what he's saying is that black women have followed white women attempt to make them look savage, ugly, and stupid. They continue to follow it to this day by playing in this movie and watching movies like this. It's like, you know something, I'm going to maintain the image of my femininity while making you look like a bunch of African savage beast. And you did it. And you think that there's something grand about it. Ladies, that falls under the stupid category. And if you want to look more beautiful, you got to look less stupid. That's very important.
Well, GC, they're the feminist mascot.
Yeah, exactly.
The attack dog, yeah.
Well, literally, in the case of the Women King.
When you're talking about them being ugly, I think a big part of that has to do with the rejection of men. So women who are after men, women who know that they want a man, they won't let themselves become ugly. It's a sin. It's a crime against God. So she's not going to allow that to happen. Whereas like women who rejected men, what does beauty matter anymore? Like I remember lesbians on TV, they were always hot. Like when you start to notice that kind of stuff, lesbians on TV are always attractive, right? But then you get into the world, and lesbians they're fat and manly, and so that's the reality of it. It's not the fake image that you get on TV. The reality is, women who reject men, they become uglier over time for the lack of male desire.
No, it's true. It's true. They stop exercising their beautiful muscle. And I agree with you. And that's what I mean when I say they're ugly. It has nothing to do with genetics. In fact, I feel that their genetics had a potential for greater beauty than any other race of women. But yeah, culturally speaking, they participate in a lot of practices that makes them ugly as shit. And yeah, as a result of it, I mean, like, no matter what you look like, if you were born a natural beauty, but, you know, part of your culture is, you know, smashing your face against hot gravel every Thursday, then you're going to wind up with an ugly ass bitch. What they're doing is essentially akin to that. And then not only that, they wear on their collective reputation all the time.
Game Changer, by any chance, and I don't know if Little Big Nate was in here earlier, by any chance did you guys see the brother that was essentially crying on a panel about Passport Bros?
No.
Little Big Nate, did you see that?
No, I didn't
video was too good to pass up.
You didn't see that, Little Big Nate?
No, sir. I came in right.
Okay, yeah.
Okay,
excellent. Okay, and we got, and not enough people have seen it, and we got 300 people in here, so it's time for a refresher. We already getting a vote from the audience to go ahead and replay it. So yeah, we're gonna yeah, we got to do this. 4-minute video, and it just gets better and better as it goes on. So let's roll it.
Brothers, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm in the middle. I have our black male code to a certain extent. I'm a black male, but I'm just one of those few of us that actually loves the women that births us. And I would never, ever. I've been married to a Mexican woman. There's some of us that are in the middle. It's not black and white, young brothers. I get it. We older generation, we don't understand where you guys came from. Outwardly, just totally downgrading us like this. But that's all right. That's a different story. This is really for the young black brothers. I really do want to see you guys travel because we don't as black people. And it's so beautiful that young black men are getting out to go see the world, but you're bringing back an untruth. It is not safe for us like that. Still travel. Yeah, get you a fine Latina, but do it right, young black men. Think about how it is in this country right now for you. It is not better. Now, I'm not saying don't go, and I'm not saying don't experience life, but especially Colombia. I teach Hispanic civilization and culture. Black men, be in the middle. Travel the world, be you, but stop tearing down our mother and sisters. Tell them the truth. It's not safe like that. We are seen as Vicks. Now, it might not be right, but it's the truth. We are the biggest Vicks. Why? Because all you want is some fucking pussy. All you want is some goddamn Latina pussy. That's all you show. Just like here. Just like here. Now, that doesn't mean you can't find a woman over there that loves you. Of course you will. They all want a damn passport. I got fucking played. And speak the language fluently. That's how big the game is. Be careful, young black men. This is not just as easy as, oh, they just want you. Oh, yeah, yeah, you're going to get some pussy because that's the image that we portray. That's the image we portray. We going to get some pussy and that's it. You're going to spend your money and you're going to marry them and you're going to get them out of poverty. The same thing you can do here for your own black people. Same thing you could do.
Period.
And I'm going to stop right there because you know what? This is not to go down on my black brothers. I'm going to be honest with you because I'm a black man from Chicago. And even though I'm one of the righteous ones, I'm still a black man and I cannot unmarry myself from the ridiculousness that we're showing to the world the last 15 years. I still love you because I'm you. I'm just not going to do what you do. There's some of us in the middle. And you know what? I love my sisters. I love my mother, her nappy hair, her big lips, because it's mine. Stop tearing down our fucking people. You don't understand. I'm a high school teacher. Everybody in the world sees us as fucking buffoons. Stop. Yeah, they beautiful over in Colombia, but it's some ugly motherfuckers too, and you know it. You know it. Be in the middle. Travel the world. Do it, please. Open your mind, brother. Please. But stop telling everybody that everything is better over there. They hate your ass just like they hate you over here.
Okay. So, this person here, his pattern of speech is very telling. Is clear. It's a clear passive aggressive behavior going on here. In the words of Benjamin Stark, everything you say before the word "but" is bullshit. And everything he would say is, "I want you to travel. I want you to experience this," and blah blah blah. And then he would say, "But," and then what he really means to say will come out after that. So essentially, what he's saying is, don't travel. Be afraid of travel. Listen. When he talks about everything is better over there, okay, it simply is, to be quite frank. The only thing that is worse is the opportunity to make money. Everything else, including the food, is pretty much better there. And it's not even a comparison. especially if you're talking about dealing with the ladies. That is tremendously better there. So yeah, he's dead set against that, and he's hoping that by projecting an image of loyalty and passion, which is why he was fake crying, which shows how little he understands about women. But he thinks that will ingratiate himself to the opposite sex. Because I see that there's females on the panel. He's basically crying for pussy, as opposed to traveling for it. He's
I'm sorry.
No, it's funny because it's sad, because that's what brothers are reduced to. I mean, they're dealing with such a scarcity mindset that they're hoping by an extraordinary display of loyalty and simpery and compassion will ingratiate that they will give him some sympathy pussy. Unfortunately for brothers like him, and it's unfortunately for brothers like him, he's very slow. In the sense that he's older and it hasn't worked for him yet. And I don't know, he's probably in his 50 pluses. In that amount of time, crying for pussy in this regard and showing excessive loyalty to Black vagina does not yield the results that you're looking for. That's why he married a Mexican woman. So, but he still hasn't. Well, if I may, he still. If I may, he still hasn't come to the realization that that's not going to get him what he wants. So it's unfortunate that he's going to continue down this path, but boomers, what can I say? Go ahead, brother.
Whose channel is this?
No,
I have no idea.
Do you suppose? Yeah, I gotta find that channel. I want to talk about this video on my own time. But do you suppose he feels guilty for even marrying the Mexican? Because you're a righteous brother, right? You a Chicago nigga. That's like one of the righteous nigga capitals in this country, and you married a Mexican? Like, bro, how guilty do you feel? And you crying about it now? You crying for black pussy because you married a Mexican?
No, he's crying from black pussy because he's no longer getting Mexican pussy. So essentially, he's crying for pussy, and he's hoping that will be the one that gives it to him. It won't be.
Or this is his attempt to make amends for this terrible treachery he committed against the collective of Black women by not marrying one.
Yeah, but he didn't marry a Black woman because he didn't have the option to. He didn't have the option to because Black women mating technique is to starve out the system and then feed the starving scraps. So
Black women would have eaten him alive.
Well, yeah, they didn't have the opportunity to do so. Once again, their mating strategy consists of starving a man and then feeding him scraps later in life. So in that process, he got with a Mexican woman. Now, I mean, he's still obviously starving. That's why he's crying for pussy. But nevertheless, that was their strategy. And it's sad that he doesn't realize that by now.
That is terrible. That is absolutely terrible, man. I mean, on my channel, I talk a lot about, Black women not realizing the damage they do with what they upload to the internet. Well, this is a clear example of Black men doing the same. Whether we like it or not, we're looked at as a collective oftentimes. And man, when you upload stuff like that to the internet, dude, when you get on panels with women, dude, from the first day I started my channel back in March of 21, I said, if you're a woman, these are the rules you have to follow to come on my platform. You cannot curse. If you curse, I'm tossing you off. You cannot yell. You have to maintain proper decorum and deportment at all times. You're going to act the way your mother should have raised you to act when you come on my platform. And I swear to you, every woman that comes up is giggly and nice, and there's no drama. No drama, because it's not allowed. It's simply not allowed. And these guys who do this, the panderings, that you think it's going to earn you points, it earns you disrespect. It earns you disregard when you do this shit. When you call them queens, I swear to God, my skin crawls every time I hear somebody call a Black woman a queen, or they call themselves, man, my fucking skin crawls. I swear, I wish I could just get to the point where I could call you a lady. How about we take baby steps towards this queendom bullshit? Can you just learn how to act like a lady? Is that even possible?
Well, yeah, it shows that their strategy is effective, of starving a man and then feeding him scraps. Basically, they're watching him worship and beg for scraps. And by scraps, I mean they're less than valuable and less than premium vagina. So that's what I mean. He's begging for that when he could not be. There are other ones in the world, and he's experienced other ones in the world. So yeah, it's pretty much a sad position that he's in at this age. But this is when I was talking about earlier about the process of humbling that they put a man through. This is the end result. This is the final result of humbling. He's eventually going to find some woman to give him the time of day after years of this psychological torment. She's probably going to be older, fatter, with tattoos and things like that. But nevertheless, he's going to get her, and he's going to proudly champion this older, fatter woman with tattoos. He's going to take her to brunches. He's going to take her on cruises, and he's going to sport his ascot with her.
Ancient Man with the $10 super chat. This dude is pandering to women who hate our guts. I'm here in Atlanta and dealing with women who hate us. This dude has got to be joking. Shout out to Ancient Man. Rodigan said, "What's the bounty to play it again?" Now, you ain't got to pay to play that one again. I probably close out the show with it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know whose channel. I don't know whose channel this is. I don't know none of these people. Well, actually, I think that's Solo Traveler ORD in the upper middle. I do recognize that avatar, but other than that, I don't know who these folks are. There, I said it in the building. Says no one hates our group. The generally accepted culture is unacceptable, and black men are now speaking on it. Capiche? Thank you for the super chat there. I said it. I do appreciate that. And I see you, Rod. I roll it again. No fee necessary. Go ahead.
Before you roll it, I just want to say that
I was going to roll it later in the show, but go ahead.
Okay. No, I was just going to say that we're not just rejecting the women in that sense. Like, obviously, there's some, rejection of the women, but black men are rejecting him, and that hurts too. And I think that's another one of those motivating. That's what's motivating the tears. Like him, as what he represents, what he stands for, and all that. Young black men are looking at him and laughing at the old nigga, and that that's got to sting. It's a kick to the ego.
Good point.
And that's what the missus was talking about so far as he's seeing his dream die.
I get where the brother's going with that. Where Lil Big Nate is going with that. Basically, the next generation isn't following his lead. And yeah, that is a bruise to the ego because it just is. With that, like, what can you do? And it makes sense that the next generation isn't following his lead because he's leading us into being grown ass men crying.
Hey, JC the Conqueror, the guy whose stream it was, I want to thank you for saying it, but read the room. Did that guy seem like somebody I would promote? Don't like super chat his stream on my shit. That dude is no. But anyway, read the room. But anyway, go ahead, GC.
No. As I was saying, the generation isn't following him because he's leading them into being, grown ass men crying online. So there's really no need to follow him. They would rather follow the path that takes them to happiness. Now, of course, he's going to suggest another path just so he can say that they're following that path, even though it takes them into wherever the fuck he is. But no, just to be clear, and I can't state this enough, it is better overseas. And when I'm talking about I'm referring to interpersonal relationships with women and just general society. They like to paint the narrative that, cops shoot black people dead on the street. Oh, no, that's here. My mistake. No, they like to paint the narrative that the women divorce you and take half your... No, that's here. They like to paint the narrative that women beat you, and then if you hit them back, they call the cops. No, that's here. They like to paint the narrative that women lie and say that you raped them, and you go to... Oh, no, that's here. Okay, they just try to say it's bad there. They just try to say it's bad there. So maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe every now and again you get pickpocketed. I don't know. But here her cousin, Ayana cousin, will come and try to beat your ass. And if you whoop his ass, he'll come and shoot up your whole damn house. So that's bad. That's here, not there.
At the end of the day, I asked Mr. Let Go, I asked him a couple of questions he couldn't answer, and he wouldn't give me a straight answer on this one either. I said, which is more of a formidable foe? Which do we need to be more worried about? White supremacy or black feminism? He yelled out, both. I disagree.
Well, the question was more. Definitely black feminism or feminism in general is a greater threat to your family structure. Feminism has impacted black men's lives and black people's lives more than crack and white supremacy combined. And for evidence, one need only look at his family, count the number of crackheads, and then count the number of children not born in two-parent households, and you will find a significant gap.
Well, Bernard did something earlier where he said he would, I guess, shore up all the other arguments in order to give a better argument, to give them a place in this conversation, so it doesn't just seem like some type of thrashing. And I'm wondering, Bernard, is it possible, or anybody else here, can the likes of like an Alan Obi or Mr. Lego or CJ or the BLM people or the Divestors or Sinji, and can they make an argument for black love without involving white supremacy or what other people are doing?
Well, yeah, Alan Obi does when he argues the black male perspective to black women.
Okay, so what is that? What is the argument for black love that has nothing to do with white supremacy or what other people are doing?
Okay, when you say what is the argument, I don't think there's the argument. I just think that
or just a point of argumentation.
Yeah, when you just listen to
genetically,
when you just no, if you just listen to hell, what Kevin Samuels used to talk about when he talked to the women, or when you listen to, honestly, Alan Obi, when he's talking to women, okay, this is one thing that he said. He said when he's talking to women, he will argue the black male perspective with his full chest. And when he's talking to black men, he will argue the black female perspective with his full chest. However, when he's arguing a black male perspective, the arguments tend to generally stand on their own. When he argues the black female perspective, he can't do it. At least I haven't heard him effectively do it without pulling out racism, white supremacy, historical context, and blah, 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 blah on that path. So, and I think that speaks to the fact that a lot of the things that we say, that we talk about, are from a perspective that it works. And when you talk about something that works, you don't have to necessarily put a black in front of it. So that's probably the misnomer in your question, or the misnomer in my answer, that you don't even need a black in front of it. What will work for black people or black love is essentially just the functionality of the relationship that you got. If you're talking about something that functions and works properly, you don't have to do that much. That's why I don't necessarily understand. I understand your question, but it's a flaw built into the framework of the question. Like I guess if I'm understanding your question right, you're essentially saying make the case for black love without including white supremacy. It's almost like it would be the same thing as when you're asked to explain your relationship without talking about white supremacy. You would just talk about just a simple relationship where it works, where you're with somebody who I assume you found attractive, they're pleasant to be around, she's a good mother, and she generally is on your program, and generally for the most part does what you say, and y'all have just a functional situation that works. So what happens on Alan Obi's show is that he's talking to them about why shit isn't working, and he's giving the male perspective onto why shit isn't working. Like I take slight issue with you putting him, not a big issue, a slight issue, when you put him right there with Cynthia G. Even though when he talks to black men, he does get on that spectrum sometimes. But when he's talking to
so I have a slight issue with me then.
because no. If you go listen to his show and you never heard him on a panel with black men, you would think he was 100% on our side. 100% on our side. You would. So it's like like Rod keeps saying in the chat room, it's a duplicitous thing that he has going on, where I, for like damn near a year, only heard the side of him when he argues the black male perspective to women. So I had a very favorable, positive view of him. Very favorable, positive view of him. And I still try to hang on to aspects of that, even after I've seen the other side of him. So, but that side of him, he more or less speaks to, just things, just general things that make sense that we all would agree with.
Is there no white supremacy for black women? Because, like I said at the beginning, I don't hear black women selling white supremacy as a reason for black love to other black women. Only when you talk to black men is white supremacy now a motivating factor. So I just need to know, is white supremacy not real for black women?
Is white supremacy not real for black?
Well, it's real. However, it's not really recognized as a problem.
It's a boogeyman.
Like it's something. It's not a monster to them. It's actually an angel. So yeah, it is real, but it's not really supposed to be a bad thing.
White supremacy is the object they use to deflect from their deficiencies. That's it. It's what they'll point to. It's why I can't lose weight. What did Dr. Brittany Cooper say on the OWN network? That goofy Negro male host sitting there, letting her, Dr. Brittany Cooper's approximately 320, 330 pounds. And she sits there and she says, I am fat because white American food makes me this way, and Donald Trump and white racism. And then they panned across the audience, and there were dozens of black women nodding their heads. I was like, oh my God, it's over. It's over. These women blame white supremacy for why they're morbidly obese. This is amazing. It's amazing. It's what, like I said, it's what they'll point to take the attention off whatever isn't right about them. And black men do it too.
Yeah. Workout with Wayne. Hey, is that the guy from Wayne's Gym? Is that I think that's him.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Shout out to Wayne's Gym. But he says, aren't white supremacy and black feminism the same thing to a black man? To that I say no, because like I said earlier in the show, and I'll reiterate, there's many aspects of what people call white supremacy that I 100% completely reject the premise on, but I think there are some people that do conflate the two quite well, but I do view them as holistically separate things. I guess the panel can touch on that, but let me read what Tan is talking about here. Shout out to Tan, and Tan was the sponsor of yesterday's show, dropped very heavy-handed super chats. Do appreciate this brother. He says, my 21-year-old brother is dark like Taye Diggs, and the weekend he came to visit me and my wife in Dallas, he told me countless times I don't do black girls, so don't take me to a black club or bar. He dodged them like the plague. Gen Z. Wow. Yeah, that's yeah.
No, I mean, what he's saying is a reflection of modern younger men. Basically, it's not really worth it. For one, and this is to you, and I'm talking to the attractive ones, black women. The other ones don't matter. You got to put out more. And by putting out more, what I mean is fuck more. Because y'all don't do that as often, means that you fell in hookup culture as well as reputedly fell in long-term relationship. culture. So you're failing in both of those regards. Basically, why would men go to a club that consists of women who are grotesquely unattractive that don't put out? It's like low-hanging fruit that's still too damn high and rotten. Go for it.
No, you say attractive women I need to put out more and they're failing in hookup culture. Other than my own personal self-serving reasons, why do they need to excel in hookup culture?
Oh, good question. Excel in some culture. God damn. Like, I mean, if you're okay, here's the thing. If you're not gonna be a prude, be a slut. And if you're not going to be a slut, then be a decent wife, you know, / long term, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Y'all not decent at anything. So yeah, if you're going to go to the club, at least hook up or look to get married, but do something. Do something to a man's benefit. Give him a reason to go to the club. Stop being at these things in Dallas, like, you know, hey, how come it's only 20% men here? Because those 20% are stupid. Like, the truth of the matter is, you're selling yeah, be good at something. Have some value to my penis or my belly or something.
Yeah, my son has these problems. You know, he's 24, mixed martial artist. He's a G. You know, he just is. I'm sorry. And he gets hit on by girls at work and shit and stuff and all the time. And his preference is black girls. I mean, it's just his preference. And the trouble he's had over the last 4 years trying to find a black girl he can date steadily. He's, yeah, dad, you know, looking at the Latino girl, I'm looking at the white girls at the gym now. And my son told me, I put this in GC's chat too. I put this in GC's chat when I was on his channel. My son said to me a couple of months ago, he said, Dad, when I ask black girls for their number, they give me their Instagram. When I ask white girls for their number, they give me their number.
Yeah, that's because she's looking for followers. See, that's the thing. And this is what let's start with you. Yeah, thanks. So, and this is what I noticed. Black girls, a lot of times they go to non-black clubs. And they go that because they go there because they know if they went to their own clubs, men aren't going to go. So they go to the regular lounges and stuff that non-black people go to. They always overdress. Always overdress. Everybody else got jeans and you know, stuff like that on, and they will have, like, you know, nightgowns and shit. They always over made up, and everybody else is socializing with each other. You know, everybody else is talking, they're having a good time with friends of the opposite sex or the same sex, or, you know, girlfriend, boyfriend, or they're actually genuinely there looking for somebody. They go there with the intention of shooting niggas down. Like, they go there like, I'm going to look my best so I can shoot down as many men as I possibly can. Well, they're not going to, eventually guys are going to get the message and not hit on you. So ladies, do one or the other. Either become decent wives and mothers or suck more dick. Like, you can't not do either and expect men to keep coming to the yard. It's not going to bring all the boys to the yard.
Yeah,
I want them to continue to do what they're doing.
Okay.
One of my partners, his name is Bernard too. He lives in Atlanta. He went to the club with his sister. His sister came into town. They went to the club, whatever, some lounge or some shit. And his sister's in her 50s. She, you know, she's decent, you know, for a 50-year-old something woman. She's sitting there, and he tells me dudes are coming up and asking her to dance. She's telling all of them no. Like, 3 dudes came up, approached her, asked her to dance. She said no. When he asked her later that night, why did you tell all the guys no? I mean, she said, this is a woman in her fucking 50s, no children, no marriage, nothing. She said, I'm expecting them to ask me to dance like I'm going to accept it. Don't ask me to dance. Come up and tell me we're going to dance. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? This 50-something-year-old woman with no prospects, alone, Nothing but her fucking degree and career. And you're angry they didn't ask you to dance the way you thought they should have. Die alone.
What's wrong with that, Nate?
Die alone.
What's wrong with it?
What's wrong with it? Everything. SKC.
No,
Everything is wrong with it.
No. You had the right response at first, bro. It's like the amount of comedy that is being produced out of the community it's at an all-time high. The stocks are they're at market highs. Let it. Why do you guys want it to die?
No, it's not a matter of that. It's a matter of making the fellas aware of what's going on. And really, I actually want what's best for some of the ladies and the fellas. Like, this goes into the be a better bitch category. Like, have some value to a man, sexual or otherwise.
But all that takes is common sense, and you can't put common sense into idiots.
Do you understand the effect of popular culture? Women are natural followers. They're going to follow something. All that independent talk is largely bullshit. Every woman submits to something. Every single female follows something. They don't follow proper men, which is the ultimate problem. They follow popular culture, and now they're ruined. That's the problem at the end of the day.
Well, I disagree, because popular culture tells young women to suck my dick. It tells women
they're sucking plenty of dick, GC.
No. Here's what I mean. They're not sucking enough, or else dudes' friends would go to the black clubs. You see, popular culture is telling both white women and black to be promiscuous, the promiscuous girl, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's telling them both to do that, and white girls are listening to that message more than the black girls. Sad and unfortunate, but true.
Well, GC, I think what we have with white women, they're getting on their knees and sucking the dicks of a broad spectrum of different guys. Black women are all in line for maybe 3 or 4 different guys to suck their dicks. I think that might be
okay. I have a question.
Even think that they're doing that.
What's that?
And it goes to what everybody is talking about here. But Mike and Vince Perkins, I think there's Mike down there. He put up something in the chat, and I really want to know, you guys, that first part of his comment.
Is this one right here?
Why is it so necessary to see that? I just want to know.
Why is it so necessary? What are you talking about? Is this the comment?
Look at the comment. Look at the comment, Bernard.
Is that the one that I have on the screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to see black women win. Oh, okay. I want to see black women win. The first part of it. Why is it so necessary to see that? Okay. Where I'm at with that is that I want to see black people do better. I am black, and I do have a general care and concern about black people. Absolutely. And I don't like that we statistically in many ways look like the retarded kid in the country. So I do want to see us do better. So in that sense, yeah, I am on that spectrum. Now, the people who claim to be pro-black, who talk about black people doing better, they tend to be on what I call that whole, that white supremacy shit, where they basically just, talk shit and complain about white people, and then just try to spray perfume and cologne over all the funk shit and stench in the black community, and thus everything pretty much stays everything pretty much going to stay exactly the same, because it's just like it's a failure to even acknowledge the problem or minimize the extent of the problem. So yeah. So in that sense, the people who are on that spectrum, in the sense that you're probably talking about, they have a bunch of, I think, a bunch of bullshit ideologies. But in general, if you're black and you generally would like to see black people do better, if he's coming from that standpoint, when he say, hey, when he says he want to see black women win, I want to see black men win. I want to see black men and black women doing better. Like, there's nothing wrong with that.
All right, let me.
So automatically you. Okay, go ahead.
Right quick. Little Big Nate, you don't have to say no homo. It's
I
not homo
do.
when
I'm
you
from New
talking about.
York, GC.
No. Listen to me and listen to me good, because I'm sick of this whole unnecessary no homo shit, okay? Listen, if I'm talking about a female sucking it, then no homo is applied. The fuck is wrong with you, Trey? If you're talking about a woman, a natural born woman sucking my dick, how is that homo? Why do you have to say no homo? Okay.
All right.
I was talking about other guys. So
I missed what happened, but let's move on.
Because
I was just talking about Bernard, and I think I understand why you're doing it, but I don't want to assume. So I'm going to ask: when in the statement he says, "I want to see Black women win," why did you automatically go to people?
Because that's how I look at it. Now, there are people who just simply say Black women, and okay, now that I read the rest of his stuff, he said, "My mama Black, but damn dog, they are sabotaged." Okay, no, he was serious. He said, "My mama Black, but damn dog, they are sabotaging themselves." Okay, so so answering the question, why did I go to people? Because that's genuinely how I look at it. I want to see Black people do better. Black women, contrary to what we saw on Fox, so Black women are Black people.
Yeah, I'm just asking because they, like you said, the whole Fox Soul thing, and in other ways how that.
And I'm also good with a cultural separation and a class separation.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm also within Black people. I'm
political
also
too.
Political. I'm also 100% good with that. I'm also 100% good with that. But yeah, so I think
can I address
hold on. SKC is trying to tease something out, because I think SKC is trying to walk us down the yellow brick road of absolute individualism, and not caring about the overall group as a whole, or not thinking about the overall group as a whole. And I think he's going to walk into a contradiction if he does that, because then why are you on the internet touting and talking about SYSBM? You shouldn't care what other people do. You should just care about yourself and your family and your shit that works. Then just go let it work then. So you do understand the concept of being concerned about a larger group, right?
Well, he said he was commenting on my comment. Let's see.
No, he said Mike and Vince Perkins' comment that's on the board.
No, he says in chat room now, he's saying I was commenting on GC's comment.
I'm lost.
Well, I am too. Yeah, I am too. But I mean, when I say that, it's not really a matter of seeing them win. I want to see Black men win. Listen, we have to be on the same team, and then we both would win more. And the way to win is to be a better bitch. That is, listen. For 40 years, you've been looking for a way around being a better bitch, and nothing has worked. Every tactic you attempted has failed. Everything you do has crumbled and failed in that regard. So why not try this? It worked for your ancestors. Being a better bitch works for everybody involved. That's all I'm saying. You got young men saying, "I don't want to go to the club with you. I don't want to go where your vagina exists." Which means that it's last pick. It is last pick as far as where do I go for vaginas. The only way you can improve that is to be a better bitch. I'm sorry. Well, I'm not really sorry, but yeah, there's no way around it. That is the solution to all that ails you. But I'm serious. If you got diabetes, be a better bitch. What do you mean? Who wants to? Yeah, exactly.
Who wants to be with who wants to be with a B?
People with penises.
Well, what do you mean?
Okay,
SKC.
If I could chime in.
No.
It's three. Hold on. It's 3 B's. It's be better bitches, build. Because it sounds cool, but you understand what he's basically saying. Be a better woman. Don't get bogged down on the term bitch. You understand what he's saying?
I honestly think, and SKC, tell me if I'm wrong. I mean, I get the idea that you don't think that there might be any value whatsoever. I mean, like, period, amongst this group of people.
No, I believe that even when it comes to like the whole black man spectrum and spaces and all that, that even in I'll throw this out there, in some of the red pillest places of red pillory, black men still care more about black women.
Interesting. I think you're making a great point. I mean,
And I think the points that were made today prove that.
well, I mean, look how well the women who parrot what we say do versus our own personal channels. And that's a point of contention in the space, and it's a legitimate thing that should be discussed, amongst the men in here. Like,
I mean, because for what it's worth, I don't think that you would have your counterparts, particularly the female counterparts, on saying, "I want to see black men win." Heck no.
Yeah, you'll hear that very infrequently, I'm sure. Yeah.
And it's just weird to me. It's a weird relationship. It's like being in it's like being sitting in a room. You're flying a room. You're watching some type of a relationship. I don't know, therapy taking place, and you're looking and there's one person that's trying, and the other person is just crapping on everything that could possibly be put forward. And then you have to ask yourself, why is this other person caring about this situation so much?
Well, and of course, I'll be accused of hopium. I have no problem with that. I mean, what do you say in response? Like, again, there's been a deluge of just horrible, disrespectful, emotionally dismissive nonsense uploaded by Black women ever since the internet began. Okay. And it's largely contributed to why, they have such a terrible image today. But what do you say about a Crimson Cure or women of that ilk who are getting on the internet and parroting our perspectives?
I don't think that's the right. I don't think
what the women are saying.
I don't think that's the right
Get
angle.
him out of there, Bernard.
I don't think that's the right angle.
All I'm asking is, what do you think of them?
No, wait, hold on. Before we go down that part, I want to respond to what he said, like being a fly on the wall, watching one person care and then one person crap on it. That is probably the right thing to say if you're talking to someone more on the spectrum of the crying guy that we talked about. If you're talking about me, what I advocate for is for Black men to have a better outcome and Black men to have a better mindset in dealing with modern women of any race. Like, that's where I'm at with it. So like what you're saying doesn't apply. That's why earlier I was sensing something insidious in you trying to charge somebody up here. But no, so where I'm at with it is not along the lines of what you said. This isn't a channel where where it's like, damn, like, I mean, where to go for that shit. Like, I mean, where Derek Jackson's channel is at. Where Dr. Hotepian Umar Johnson's channel is at. Like, where those channels are at that speak to that kind of shit. Actually, Mr. Let Go's channel doesn't even speak to that. That's the bullshit he say when he come talk to us. So, but he's on that shit. But his channel really just calls out the bullshit of the women. Like, the people who call out the bullshit that women do, I think it's a straw man argument in an attempt to deflate the validity of the things that they're saying in a weird way, because they're saying things you agree with. So it's an attempt to deflate or take the wind out of the sail of somebody who you agree with, when you try to spin it around and make it seem like they're just begging and pleading somebody who don't want them to act a certain way. No, I believe in taking the mask off the real Scooby-Doo villain, and it's been depicted as if it's Black men. Well, I'm going to advocate for Black men, speak to Black man's side, and call out the bullshit on their side that's been overlooked and not talked about and not addressed, I'm going to call that out. I'm going to clear the black man's name, and I'm going to call out the bullshit that happens on the other side. And if through the midst of that, some sense can be made out of the situation, and men can have a better mindset in dealing with women, or if anybody can hear the shit that I'm saying or channels like mine is saying, and then they have just a different perspective on just the overall social dynamics between black men and black women, and they move a little differently because of that, then great, absolutely, that would be wonderful. So to say that one side you're just caring so much, and then you see that they don't care, so why do you care? It's like, nah, that's taking it down a bullshit path, in my opinion. That doesn't exactly exist. But Mike was the one who made the statement that that he want to see black women win. So I will let him speak to that.
All right. Thank you very much, Bernard. Peace to everybody on the panel. I was saying that in response to a comment that GC made along the lines of them winning at something. You know, he was like they fail at, a lot of the culture. Either be a great wife or be a good hoe. And I was responding kind of to that. Like, I want to see black women win at something. I left out the at something. You know what I mean? Like, all my family is black because I'm black, and that would be a good thing to see them win, but they like sabotaging everything, which speaks to, them going to, clubs and purposely turning dudes down, or saying that, hey, even though I'm here at, a place where people dance, people are asking me to dance, and I want them to tell me we're about to dance or whatever, that nonsense is. Yeah, I was kind of speaking to that, not like, I wasn't, this wasn't an Amiri liked comment. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not on some.
Yeah, and it's all we already dealing with an army of people that want to put us on the Amiri train. Like that's
right. Like,
I got zero tolerance for that shit. Just keeping it real.
Nah. I'm not on that at all. I'm still bros first. You know what I mean? It's just like, if at all possible, the ones who get it, if they can win, that's cool. Like, granted, the idea that, most of them are gonna lose. I mean, I'm pretty clear on that. I'm pretty clear that most of them are probably gonna lose because most of them don't get it, and that just is what it is. But it would be nice, because I'm around all black people. So some of those black women that are gonna lose are gonna be family members. That's what and I was speaking to that as well. It's just like, yeah, my mama's probably gonna be okay because she has a good head on her shoulders. But like, not all my family members are my mom. Not all my family members got a good head on their shoulders, and especially with the women. Like, some of them really believe in the strong, independent, don't need no man shit, and they're really not getting what's about to happen. So that was most of my comment. Go ahead.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's kind of like in line with what Tam put up. You do understand that the people that you're saying that you would like to see them win, their view of winning is quite different from what you are thinking.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great point. You know what? That is a great point.
Let me double
what
down on that a little bit.
What is their view of winning?
Modern,
I'm curious.
modern women
If
win
I
at the
may ask,
expense of men.
Well, okay, so how are they winning at the expense of men now? I'm curious.
Okay, well, what I'm saying to you, that's why I used the word retarded earlier, GC.
Mm-hmm.
It's like looking at the retarded child throw the snack pack up against the wall, and they believe that they won the basketball game.
No,
how do you fix that?
No, I get it. But like, what I'm seeing is that the other retarded kids is throwing the snack pack higher than our retarded kids. So, like, what I'm saying is, even if your game is rejecting niggas, you're losing at that because you are not even, the guys aren't even going to the clubs where you exist in order for you to reject them. So you're losing at this retarded game, Like if there was a game, if there was a board game called "Do Not Shit on the Board Game," you are losing that by shitting on the board game. Like you see what I mean? You know, like all women tease and shit like that. You know, but you're losing that game. You're
Yeah,
losing
even
the
if
whole get the bag game. You're losing the housewife game. You're losing the horror game. You're losing pretty much every game women play, retarded or not.
yeah,
All I'm saying
it's like
is
when they
if the
Hold on,
rules
hold on,
are
right quick, bro.
don't if the
Let me
rules
say
are
something.
don't take a crap on the board, it's not a game anymore.
Well, let me say something. Regular, don't salute Tommy. That's mine. I invented Snack Pack Throwers of America, Game Changer 00100. Fuck that nigga. That being said, that being said, yeah. Okay, so no matter what the game is, they're chronically losing. I'm giving some pointers. You know, I'm giving some pointers on how to win.
yeah, it's just like the whole going overseas thing, right? So like the way that women process it is only one way, is sex tourism. They're not processing it any other way. They're saying that men are going over there for prostitutes. Now, if I'm to go down that logic train, some of you all are sex workers. As a matter of fact, a lot of you are sex workers, and not, you know, not like half or anything like that, but more than I would be comfortable with, you know, saying that black women are sex workers. They're losing the sex worker game because dudes in their head are going overseas to get sex workers. So, like, to GC's point, maybe their version of winning is being the best sex worker, but they're still losing that because dudes would rather travel overseas to get that, because that is better than staying here and being, you know, in Houston and getting those sex workers. So they're losing whatever game they're playing, because even if it's throwing the snap pack up against the wall or don't shit on the board, they're losing every game they're playing, because they're just that. It's like they're not even. There's no conviction.
They're not even good at being bad. They're not. They're not
Exactly.
even.
Mike, if you can acknowledge that, why would you want them to win?
Hold on, let's go to the service.
And I'm sorry, I just wanted to ask Mike, if you can acknowledge that reality, then why do we want them to win anyway? What's that going to do for me by letting them win?
Well,
repeat that one more time, conservative.
I can answer that question.
I can answer it.
What does it do for you by letting them win? Is you get your dick sucked and you get a better bitch. You see, no matter what, in order for them to win, they have to be a better bitch, even if it means being better at throwing snack packs. So yes, either be a Madonna or be a whore, but be something, and that is how you benefit.
How about this revolutionary idea? We define what winning is for them.
Thank you. That's what
I define winning as sucking
my dick.
Hey, I let everybody speak. Let me finish.
Wait a minute. Go ahead. Little Big Nate is on the something now. Go ahead.
Thank you. We define what winning is for them. We lay out the parameters of how this game works. That's why I don't think there needs to be a black love conversation. There needs to be proper black men laying out the groundwork and how the rules go. And the women that don't want to play, God bless you. I wish you the best. Please understand you don't get to ask me for a goddamn thing. Anything. And the women who are interested in playing by the rules we've laid out, those are the women that can win. And, oh, well, Nate, that's only going to be 1% of the women. That's all we fucking need. Get on a goddamn plane and go find another woman somewhere else who grew up in a proper culture. There's nothing making these women get correct. There are no cultural dictates that are going to make them act right. Nothing. They're free citizens. They get to fuck up and destroy themselves as much as they want. The only ones who don't do that and won't are the ones who have any interest in being with a man, like a legitimate, proper man, because they know they can't destroy themselves and gain access to those men. You can't weigh 319 pounds and have access to those men. You can't come to those men with 3 children by 2 different men, never married. So they got to play by the rules we lay out. That's why there's no talk. There's no negotiation. You either follow what we say or go on about your business. And whatever happens to you simply happens.
Okay, so you said that we should define victory or what is winning
Yes.
for them. I said that I did. Being a
Whoa.
better bitch is my definition of victory.
Awesome.
So that's what was done, and I do lay out clearly how to be a better bitch, and as Mike said, and rightly so, be a better whore or be a better Madonna. Like, I mean, that is us defining victory, and it's really the same definition that they have, even the retarded ones, which simply put is how to get greater male validation is really how they're determining victory. And they're obviously not getting it, especially if brothers is seeking international prostitutes over domestic ones. They're being worse. My definition of victory is be better. I mean, it's all the same to me. Listen, you can say be a better bitch on the way, to the airport, while you are saying bye to the fat bitch that work at Spirit Airlines when you're on your way to Colombia or some shit like that. Like, okay, I'm off to Colombia, be a better bitch, bye. You can say that all the time. It's not catering, it's not pandering to them, it's not helping them win at the expense of a black man or anything like that. It is basically just something that's free, quick, and easy to say. Shit. In fact, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it today. I'm going to walk into a place. I'm going to get some shoes. I'm going to walk into a place, and then I'm going to let the door swing on the bitch behind me. And then if she said, well, how come you don't hold the door? I'm going to say, be a better bitch. You can, no matter what you do, you can always say, be a better bitch. You steam some broccoli, be a better bitch. You ride a bike, be a better bitch. You learn how to drive stick, be a better bitch. Each and everything you do, you can constantly say, no, I don't sleep with retards. I make sure that their IQ is above 71. But do I sleep with the extraordinarily dumb? Yes. Do I sleep with people whose personality I detest? Yes. There are a lot of people. The criteria for me to sleep with a woman is for her to consent and for me to be attracted to her physically. That is it. That is it. And that is all. Yes. Oh, and above 18 or 18 and above. That is how I fuck. You think I IQ test bitches? No. I look, if I'm attracted to them and I check for herpes and it's none there, I fuck. That is how I get down. What in the fuck?
The check for herpes though.
I was just speaking. I was just speaking so far as my analogy. I was just speaking so far as my analogy.
No, even in the analogy, you think I don't fuck broken bitches? Of course I do. They have vaginas and I'm physically attracted to them. Of course. I had women say some of the stupidest crap I ever heard in my life. And yes, I still fuck them. I heard a bitch say something like, if gravity is real, how do the people at the bottom of the earth don't fall down? I heard shit like that, and that don't stop me from fucking them. Okay.
Yeah, and that's fine. That's fine. I have no problem with that. I want more of that to happen because that falls in line with my whole thought of let it burn. Because in that whole everything, that is not going to resurrect a quote unquote community. That's gonna hasten its destruction. So I'm all for that.
What's your response to that, GC?
Wait, what happened? I was reading a comment. Somebody say snips for herpes.
Problem. SKC said he's happy that you're engaged in that behavior because it's leading to the ultimate burning down of the community. What would your response be to that?
What community?
Okay, interesting.
There you go. No, seriously. This is why.
Well, I mean, okay. Put it like this: if your community is so fragile that a man fucking attractive women destroys it, then it's pretty much destroyed. Like, if your community is so, yeah, it's so. Take Kelly Bundy for example, right? The quintessential bimbo. You're telling me the white community would crumble if somebody fucked Kelly Bundy? If so, then that community is damn near doomed. That shit is doomed. If you're one bimbo away from ending it, don't know what to say to that. You think by not fucking them, they're gonna be not retarded? What the fuck?
I love this. Wow. Continue.
No.
I love
what
this.
GC's highlighting though is a certain
stereotype.
reality. This is why the guys who are about pump and dump and all that stuff, on a certain level, even though like I understand, I will acknowledge that the family model is the best model for everybody, but in a land of savages, why would you try to be married?
You
Yeah.
just
Well,
you just
I'll be honest.
engage in savagery.
I am a proponent of marriage. I'm completely against state-sanctioned marriage. Marriage should be centered around what men want, what men are looking to accomplish, and women that want to get on board with that type of ideology. Awesome. But marriage is the cornerstone of civilization. You can talk all this, I'll have, I'll have surrogates have my babies and all that stuff. What we see in Black America and really in a lot of America are children who did not grow up with mothers that love them. I don't want to see, 80% of our children born to surrogates who never had mothers that love them. It's going to be even worse. So there still has to be some type of marriage and family intact. We just have to redefine what it is. Ultimately, men can make whatever reality they want to make happen, in my opinion. So that's just that. That's just my opinion.
Man, I love it. I love it, bro, because all of the solutions and that are put forth does not get to what everyone eventually is talking about when it comes to the community.
What do you mean?
Okay, so say if people go with the pump and dump model, that doesn't get you to your end goal.
What's the end
Obi
goal?
Allen talking about
What's the end
no.
goal?
Well, did this resurrection of or at least a partitioning out or a saving of a part of functional Black society?
Yeah, the people that's talking about pumping and hold on, whoa. The people that's talking about pumping and dumping, they're not talking about trying to salvaging or bring back some functional Black society. So why would you put those two even together?
Okay, what I'm saying is all of the various aspects of people's arguments that about all of this dealing with the situation within Black America, none of it leads to any type of functionality.
Well, it does from the perspective if like, okay, let's just take me for example. Yeah, there's a percentage of Black women like that. I think you can. I mean, I think everybody has to do this to some degree, but in other groups, the percentage is probably probably the percentage is bigger. For example, if she's talking about Asian women or whatever. But no, there is like when we talk about a separation from that which is bad, like we see that amongst white people. You don't see white people with either raised in a certain way or got a certain decent head on their shoulders say that I got to go to the trailer park and deal with or be in a relationship with so and so. I'll use the words you use. One of the retards down there. They're not saying that. They're going to find a like-minded white person. I myself, there's a like-minded Black woman down the hall from me right now. So it's like, so that's why I feel like you're doing like a base level. I don't even know what to make of your argument. I mean, it's like shit is fucked up, and we sound the alarm about what's fucked up. But bare minimum, like just like how white guy with a good head on his shoulders, as shout out to GC. Okay, he might fuck a Kelly Bundy here and there. But overall, if he's going to spend his life or a considerable amount of time with a woman, she's not going to be Kelly Bundy dummy. She's going to have a better head on her shoulders. So a Black man with a good head on his shoulders, yes, I think he should open up all of his options. But the Black women he deal with will be those of the group that got a decent head on their shoulders. So it's like, I mean, I don't. So that's why I don't understand where you're going with your line of argument and questioning.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, Bernard. She has to have a decent head on her shoulder, and she has to have a decent head on her lips. That's very important too.
Hold on, but I do want SKC's response. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, what I was saying is that I get your argument, Bernard. It makes sense if there were not a critical mass of the retards. What I'm saying is that because you have a critical mass of the retards and you have a critical mass of people that saying still smash the retards, at some point you're going to be overrun.
I agree, and listen, you're talking to the channel that sounds the alarm about that shit.
What the fuck? Wait a minute. SKC, is your dick some type of retard wand or something? Like, do every chick you touch with your dick automatically turn retarded? Like, how does this work? Or is it keeping those who are retarded somehow? No, you leave them how you found them, just with a slightly less tight vagina. What in the fuck? You think not fucking them is gonna change them? What?
No,
So
I'm not trying to change them at all.
SKC is demanding that every sentence that you say is a sentence that is supposed to be an effort to solve the problems of the community. And then so when you say you like to fuck dumb bitches that are hot, he do his coon laugh and say that's not gonna save the community. And it's like, you never said you were trying to save it. And that's why I pick up when SKC is trying to basically lump us in. He's trying to do that shit. I'm not
trying to lump you in that category. Well, what I'm saying is that if a mass amount of individuals were to say, you know what, I want something like what Bernard has, but then the masses says also, but I ain't gonna let this retarded pass by and let me knock it out the park. Okay, what is your failure rate amongst the masses? Because there's going to be a failure rate, and then that's going to bleed over back into the exact thing that you're trying to destroy.
Okay.
Well, look, if I
gotta ask you the question: how do white people solve their problem? Because there's plenty of successfully married white men who did fuck a lot of bimbos. So and they do have a lot of bimbos. So how do they fuck them? How do they solve that problem? How do they solve that problem of having a culture where, yes, they hit the club and they hook up and they have casual sex and they have this and they have that and they do their drugs and they do they fucking and they sucking, and then when all is said and done, there's still families that exist. So you're basically, I'm asking you, how do white people solve that problem?
And that's an excellent question. I'll put it back to you on this, just as I stated at the beginning of my other comment with you. All of that makes sense when you're looking at the quote unquote other groups and blah 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 blah. All of that makes sense, and I understand why you're making that comment. But when you have a critical mass already, when you already have stage 4 cancer, you can't say to other people, well, there's people that they have allergies and they smoke. But dude, what are you talking about? Well, you're not in the same position.
Hold on.
Wait a minute. So hold on real quick. So SKC, what you're essentially saying, it sounds like where you're going with this is that the situation in Black America is to an extreme point to where there's practically culturally no wiggle room for people having casual sexual fun. It got to be full button up, hard far right Christian conservative Judeo-Christian values, 1-to-1 dating, arranged marriage, everything. That it's going to take that extent to solve the problem. If you're saying that, you're probably right. However, I think that solution is a unrealistic solution in this modern world. But in order to truly fix the problem of Black people, it probably would take something that extreme that will probably never happen.
So and that's not my argument.
Let me say this.
Okay.
Let's go to GT. I think what your argument is, SKC, is that your dick caused cancer. Essentially, the analogy that you gave,
or you could just ask me what my argument is.
Essentially, the analogy that you just gave is that you said that if a person has cancer, you wouldn't encourage them to smoke cigarettes. So if you were to roll that back to the situation, if a woman is retarded, you wouldn't suggest fucking her. However, in the first analogy, the cigarette causes cancer. In the second analogy, dick doesn't cause a bitch to be stupid. It doesn't. It doesn't. She was like that when you found her. And it really doesn't cause any harm to anyone. Now, what it does do, and this is what you're doing, and correct me if I'm wrong, what it does do is it gives people opportunity to say, oh, no, it's your fault. Basically, because what Black women like to do, and people who like to work on their behalf, is to say that, it's always going to be your fault for sleeping with attractive women. No matter what, it is the Black man's fault. If you just so happen to fuck attractive women, it is your fault. That's why I got my PhD, and you should fuck my fat, ugly ass because I have a PhD. No, that is some true retard shit, to fuck a woman based on intellectual prowess and not for the sake of sexual gratification.
Well, I've been in this space a little over 5 years now, and I'm a promoter of separation and segregation. Been talking about it ever since I came up on panels. Separate, separate, separate. This talk of unity is absolute nonsense. We would be well advised to take cues from what some white people do, if what they do is successful. And they in no way, shape, or form attempt to try to save their downtrodden, their ruined. They classify them as trash. And they don't worry about them. They relegate them to certain parts of towns. They surround their communities with police, and they go on about their fucking business and live their lives and be successful.
Do they fuck them?
Oh, Jesus Christ, yes.
Okay.
I'm
making sure that.
Yeah. I'm an auto damage appraiser. I know a lot of very wealthy white guys, and I've been invited to the lake house quite a few times. I don't go because I know what goes on at the lake houses. No thanks. And yeah, they stay fucking broads. All kinds of broads down at the lake house. My wifey's at home with the children. They're at the lake house doing all sorts of very strange shit that I'm just not interested in. But yeah, these dudes make $500,000, $1.5 million a year. Big money these motherfuckers make. And yeah,
I'm kind of lost in the conversation, but you guys continue.
I'm just telling you what they do. This is what they've told me.
I was just lost in the whole thing of sleeping with the retards.
The practice of having sex with less than intelligent women, or having sex with downtrodden women, like that practice is very, very old. I think that what we do in our community that really makes it tough is that we don't like slotting, or slutting and slotting certain women, so that we take the strippers, the sex workers, or whatever, and we still make them viable. So that our practices are not bad in the fact that, you may fuck a retarded woman. It's bad that we also allow that retarded woman to then speak for other women, because they circle the wagon around sex workers, even though I think they know it's probably not a good idea. And then you have dudes that follow that, your Amiri types that may follow or circle their wagon around the women who are circling their wagon around the goofy sex work thing. I think the only thing that we do that's different is that we allow sex workers to talk. The practice of
yo, Mike, right. On that point, you have people that are having conversations with people who would be sex workers about viability. You're what are we doing? Come on.
SKC, they're encouraging us to vote. Get your booty to the polls and all that great stuff. Yeah,
that's the only difference. So that when you say, we should, and I don't think you said this, but I'm just gathering what you're saying. Like, we should, leave them to the side. I don't disagree with that, but they shouldn't get a voice. That's the only thing that's different about our community. A lot of the stuff is just, it's just not regulated the way that it's supposed to be. And there's maybe
And
like
that,
two or three degrees of degrees of separation from, like, well, not 2 or 3 degrees, but 2 or 3 things that we need to correct to just make it normal.
But Mr.
and
Perkins,
that's what I'm saying, Mike. Is this? It's like I get the whole point of people saying, okay, I want to, knock down who I want to knock down. I get that. Fine. That nobody's saying anything about that. But when Bernard comes up and he says, well, how does other communities do it? And what are you saying, that these white people, that they're not able to do such and such and such and such? Okay, but they're not saying get your booty to the pole. It's gotten to a critical mass to where the dudes that are saying, I don't care, I just want to knock down the retarded people, to where you have a critical mass of you can charge them up in political ways to make decisions for your masses.
Yeah.
No,
Right.
you
Let's
can't do it anymore.
Let's do this.
I agree.
Let's
Hold on,
do
real.
this. Would they say get your booty to the pole if they weren't getting fucked?
I don't understand that point.
No, I mean, I don't see what correlation with this horror culture that has to do with my dick. I don't. Like, the way they behave is there's no crossover. There's no crossover between their behavior, whatever political power you think a whore has, versus who I choose to fuck. There's none.
think
No,
GC, I think you should be able to have sex with
I think the disconnect is that yes, it's true that our idiots do have more influence and stir more of the pot of the culture. When it comes to the whole casual sex thing, like my what I talk about here is never strictly about that. I think I tend to have, I'm talking about male and female dynamics. I'm talking about something bigger than I'm just trying to, fuck these bitches. I'm just trying to fuck these bitches. The conversation is typically more in depth than that. That person who's having that conversation and only that conversation, then yeah, they're to me, they're really not in this conversation. Like, look, like we're talking, like for example, the title of the show today, or at least how we started, we're talking about, like, is white supremacy being used to gaslight black men? Like, we're talking about greater black male, black female dynamics. I think the fact that the fact that people have casual sex, that's going to always be baked into the cake. I think casual sex is going to exist. I don't think it should be the most promoted thing, but I do think it's going to happen. And I think, however, whatever problems get solved, it's still going to be a percentage of that still baked into the cake, that people are going to be having casual sex. But I can agree with SKC that shouldn't be the forefront thing that's promoted. You don't put that on the marquee. You put something else on the marquee. Now you go in, okay, it's going to be some of that going on over there in the corner. I think that's probably how other people do it. Put it,
that's the whole point, Bernard, is while saying no issue with what you're saying. I'm agreeing with everything that you're saying when you say, hey, down the hall, personally, I got such and such, this is what I'm doing, and blah, blah, blah. And I want to see that extrapolated out. But at the same time, if the thought pattern is, okay, but I'm cool with the whole idea of we gotta knock down these retardeds. It's like, okay,
well, hold on. Wait a minute. See, that's the problem. It's different from me saying I understand that exists and that game ain't going nowhere. It's another thing for a channel like Platinum gets 10 million subscribers and 30,000 people tune in to see the shit. That is no hate on Platinum, but you understand what he is. Like, that's what I mean. That shouldn't be on. It's going to exist, but it shouldn't be on the marquee.
And that's the point of when I was saying to you when you said,
but in the black community, I think your general point is, in the black community, that type of shit is on the marquee.
Well,
on every marquee.
If I could chime in real quick, ultimately the problem is that, again, it's an issue of not separating, not practicing intelligent segregation. When your prostitute pigs and strippers are given the same consideration as a decent woman with discernment, who is is particular about who she lets in her life and in her bedroom. You can't give both of those women the same say. You can't give both of those types of women the same consideration. And in retarded ass egalitarian Black America, they get it. The shitty nigga gets oftentimes more consideration than the hardworking,
Hold on, real time out.
Black
Trey,
man.
hold on, real quick. Trey, you said still caping. Caping for who? Who you talking about? What you talking about?
Trey doesn't believe there's any real value in Black America. I'm sorry. There are just guys that believe that. I'm sorry. What are you messing with Keisha for? Why do you care what Keisha does? Ha ha ha. And of course, he's entitled to his opinion, but there are men, let's just lay it out here, that think that there's absolutely no reason to deal with anyone with Black skin, period, in this country. That's what they believe. And they're entitled to their beliefs. But don't get all wound up.
That's an extreme view. That's an extreme view.
No, I'm not saying you. I didn't say you, SKC. I said there.
No. I know. I was just acknowledging that's an extreme view. It's not.
Yes, but there are men that carry that view. Reality. They just don't believe. Leave all Keishas alone. All Black women are trash. Nigga, I have a daughter, and yeah, that makes me a daughter, nigga. Fine, but I raised her properly. Her best friend got married at 19. If you get to them early enough, they and you show them a different way, they might take the proper route. Might. Now, should you waste any of your time trying to make that happen? Nobody's suggesting you do. But let men do what the fuck they choose to do. Period.
Why is it in a Black community?
What's that?
Why is it in a Black community? Black men get more shit for fucking unintelligent, attractive women than they do for fat ass ugly bitches. You ever notice that? Black man can say openly, I fucked 3 fat bitches last weekend, and nobody say anything. But if he says something like, I fucked 3 9+, but they all was dumb as hell, people will talk shit. Why is that? How backwards is how?
I just have a question, GC. Who is talking crap about that?
No, just any critiquing about me fucking dumb attractive women is that, because I see less critique going on about the guys who fuck fat ass bitches. Nobody say, hey, nigga, why you fucking fat bitches?
Who is on the panel? Who is on the panel critiquing GC?
No, you're like, it's not helping the problem with the community. It's helping the problem with my dry dick. What do you mean?
I didn't address you personally, GC. I was addressing Bernard's thought on the masses.
Hold on.
I was talking about the macro.
We went down this rabbit hole because GC did say something about smashing dumb chicks, and that's why I tried to parse out that y'all were having 2 different conversations. SKC was on community conversation mode, and GC was on getting his dick wet conversation mode. So y'all were having 2 different conversations. So I did try to segregate the 2.
Right. And the only thing I was just trying to be on was the general theme of the entire setup of the show is a macro conversation.
Yeah.
It's talking about Black men being gas lit.
Mm-hmm.
Men as in plural.
Somebody said, imagine if you have a daughter and she brings home Game Changer. What the fuck is wrong with Game Changer? I'm smart.
So no disrespect to GC, but I'm not making singular hits at people and having those conversations. I thought the entire conversation was based upon a general group as a whole, which is why I use terms like critical mass, communita, people.
Yeah. And GC was on something else, and you applied, critical mass, community, people to GC talking about, smashing hot chicks. So yeah. So
all I was saying is if you extrapolate that out to the masses, then it doesn't work.
Can I?
Period.
Hold on, wait, time out. You saying if you extrapolate what GC was talking about smashing hot chicks to the masses, it don't work?
To the masses of 2022 community,
Yeah,
it
I
doesn't
agree.
work.
I agree 100%. That's why I said.
What do you mean work?
Can I?
It doesn't.
I can
Again,
explain.
he's saying it doesn't work or help a community if that's the main thing on the marquee.
No. There's two separate things, and they don't conflict with each other.
I agree. Hold on, Nate. GC, you made a good point. They're two separate things that don't conflict. But if one is promoted more over the other, that's where SKC is saying a problem will ensue.
It's not promoted. It's just something that you do. Like,
exactly.
I
mean, that's where I'm at. With it. That's where I'm at with it.
Why are black men so fucked up in their soul that they think that you have to promote having sex with attractive women? How fucked up are y'all? How fucked up are y'all to where somebody has to promote attractive women? Attractive women are used to promote everything else in the world. When you look at a billboard, you see an attractive woman to promote something. You know, the hostess at a restaurant is an attractive woman to promote the food. Hooters exist because attractive women promote shit. What? Somebody has to promote sleeping with attractive women to you? I hope we're not that far gone.
What in the world is this? Where is this going? I'm confused in this.
Think I can answer
I'm
that.
expressing that these are two separate conversations that was unnecessarily conflated.
Yeah, that's what the conclusion that I have, that two separate conversations jumped off, and that's why Rod is in the chat room saying he's lost. He's lost because two separate it's two separate conversations being had, and
yeah, that's like saying, I like to sleep with attractive women. Well, how's that going to save the environment? It's like, what the fuck?
If I could chime in.
No. I'm that's not the point at all. That's not the point at all of what I'm saying. Is the point that I was stating, GC, is that unfortunately, because of things that occurred way before you or I were born and things that happened within our childhoods, the pool within said community has gotten to a point of a critical mass of retards. And in a normal or other places, it would be cool to be able to do what you say that just or other men do. Yeah, that's what they do. But in the case of where you're at right now in 2022, Black America, yeah, you can do it, but it's like, and I'm not. Nobody's gonna stop you, and I enjoy it because it is going to continue to flame the community down.
Oh my goodness, SKC,
I'm not the one conflating it. That is the conflation. Fucking attractive women will burn the community down. What the fuck?
SKC, you literally just said you're free to go ahead and do that, but it ain't gonna save the community.
I think
you literally just made you made an argument that reflected exactly what GC said that you're doing. It's like, so yeah.
If I could chime in,
I generally understand where you're coming from on a lot of what you were saying, SKC. But go ahead, Little Big Nate.
I think what SKC means is, in the past, that group of women that you fuck, you enjoy, the good time girls, they were in a certain part of town. They were those women, and all the other women didn't want to be part of that group of women, so they acted in a way that's extremely different, that opened them up to the idea that men could marry them. Today, if all your objective is just to go fuck, what you're going to do is and whether y'all want to admit it or accept it or understand it or not, these women are going to fuck themselves into valuelessness. You're not going to be able to marry a chick that's just out fucking and tossing dicks and doing whatever she wants. And the more community women, and let me know if I'm right, SKC, the more community women who, play this game of promiscuity and fucking, and I do what I want, and when I'm 48 with 3 children by 2 different men and no marriage, then I'll settle down. You won't have any women worth marrying the community will never repair itself. I understand where GC's coming from, saying, look, as an individual, I'm focused on, handling my business and enjoying myself. Cool. But the more women he can just have unattached sex with, the fewer women there are going to be that you can marry, because the women that do that on a regular basis, you can't really do much with at the end of the day. I think that's what SKC is saying.
All I'll say is this. I'll ask a question. Let me put Mike in this. Mike, let's say if there was some chick, she's hot. She is not she isn't the sharpest thing in the drawer or whatever. But you get along with her and without, and she gets to a point in life where she's cool to hang around. You two can do this and then whatever, and it's easy to enjoy. But that she's been slawed out 30, 40 times because she's just open like that.
30, 40.
She's a good whore.
400.
Do you want that to be? Do you think that would be a good mother of your kids?
Of course not.
Okay, so if you extrapolate that out to where that is the majority of the said women in the group.
That's what I just said.
Tell me, how is that going to work?
It's not.
It doesn't.
So it's not a thing of saying, you know what, you can't do whatever you want to do. No, do it. But I'm looking down the road and I have my popcorn as I watch the fire.
And but I agree with SKC. I don't think what
GC is saying is that. I think that what you're saying is, okay, so let's do this.
Who said procreate?
Say it again.
No, I was just saying, who said procreate? Nobody's saying procreate with them.
That's where it stops. Like, you don't have to procreate. You know what I mean? So that you can do and have dual, mating strategies, or two different things going on at the same time. Putting the have sex with less than, intelligent women, you don't have to put that on the marquee, but that's been happening and it's going to happen for forever, and that's always going to happen, and that's always been happening. You don't have to put it on the marquee. Dudes don't need to be encouraged to have sex with, or get easy access to sex, because we're wired that way.
Exactly.
And what SKC and what you're saying, SKC, is that's going to be the fall. The fall is not the sex part. The part is that is the fall would be if you procreate, obviously. But if we don't slot these women as this is what you are this.
No, Mr. Perkins, no disrespect, sir, but it's more than just procreation. The more your girls are out here fucking 4, 5, and 6 men a week, you ain't marrying none of them. You ain't marrying them.
And I'll add to that.
It's one thing to have 10% of the community. Again, there's always been whores. There's always been, women of the night or whatever. Places where men can go to get what they need from a woman and then leave her. What happens when 80% of your young girls are doing that? And we see that today. That's Instagram culture. That's whore culture. That's prostitute culture. These girls exchanging themselves for fucking trinkets and nothing.
And I'll add to that. I'll add to that, Nate, of saying this. Okay, let's say that happens. You get to that point, you're at 80%, and then it's continuing, right? Okay, here's the question, or not the question. Here's the thought. Those types, they're never going to make good mothers.
Never.
Ever.
Don't turn them into mothers. Okay, so believe it or not, there are a lot of ways to fuck a woman and not get her pregnant. The Romans use sulfium. Black men use magnums. There are a lot of ways to fuck women and not get them pregnant. Now, did I say get below intelligent women pregnant? No. Have I ever gotten a woman of low intelligence pregnant? No, I haven't. So I like sleeping with attractive women. And I'm not talking about to the people who are retarded themselves in the chat room. I'm not talking about actual retards. That was just a colloquialism for women of low intelligence. Yes, I sleep with low intelligent women that I'm physically attracted to. Why? Because physical attraction sex is a physical act. It is not an intellectual exercise. Therefore, I can enjoy the physical aspect of a woman regardless of her intellectual capacity. And that doesn't harm the community. It doesn't launch a nuke every time I come into a condom that I'm wearing with an attractive dumb bitch. Okay. It doesn't harm the Black community. It doesn't cause an additional abortion, and a nigga don't drive by shoot every time I do some crap like that. So would everybody please stop with the dick policing? Black men get dick policed far too much. You know, we can't fuck light skinned girls. We can't fuck exoticals. We can't fuck white women. And now we can't fuck attractive Black women that are stupid. Why is it that the only Black women that it seems like it's okay for a Black man to fuck is a fat, ugly, educated bitch? You ever notice that? Nobody gives you shit for fucking her.
Just for the record, SKC record thought on this is for GC to have 3,000 times the amount of hot women that he wants in his life. I want that for him.
I want that for me too. So it's good that we agree to agree on that. You know, what I don't agree with is me fucking an attractive woman has no impact on the community, and if so, fuck it.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. And that's what I'm saying is let's say when you extrapolate that out, and I'm just throwing this out too, because for the other people who are on that whole thing about the community, what GC is stating is that let's say if there's 50 GCs, they handled everything just as GC just stated. Mike, do you want that for the mother of your kids?
No, I don't.
She never got pregnant.
I don't want that for the mother of my kids. But I think that what you all are you're missing the part of the consequence for the behavior. Like, I think that women, they really, and I'll give women credit, you know, Black women in particular, credit for adapting to environment. The only thing that's missing is that there is no outward punishment or slotting of these women. I think that if it becomes less of more of a consequence for that behavior, you'll see something different.
Well,
and
thanks to Republican state legislatures, it's beginning with the reversal of Roe versus Wade. Thank you.
I agree.
I think one of the things GC is kind of railing against, though. Hold on. I think one of the things GC is kind of railing against, this is part of what sparked my idea for the show. Only Black men and their sexual desires must be handcuffed to the community. Black women's sexual desires are not handcuffed to the community. Only for the men should your sexual desires be somehow in line with this greater goal of saving the community. Where in fact, no man thinks like that. No man picks his wife with the community in mind. You pick your wife with yourself in mind.
And you picked a woman that you fuck with your dick in mind.
All right, real quick. Trader MBD says white supremacy is black. White supremacy is Black supremacy, aka feminism, when the mask is removed, like on Scooby Doo. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. Rod of God podcast in the building for agreeing to replay that glorious clip at the end. Best laugh I've had all week. Yeah, I'm gonna play that clip again when the show end. Nuruddin with a super chat, it says, "Hey Bernard and SKC, yeah, there's a video out there of a Latina who's fed up with dating Latin guys and wants a strong Black man. I can send it to you. I don't know why we need to. Okay, thank you, Nuruddin. Thank you, Nuruddin. Oh wait, no, hold on. Oh wait, should I missed those? Those were starred.
Let me tell you something.
Hold on.
Oh, sorry.
Oh wait, JC the Conqueror in the building says he agrees with SKC and Wayne's Gym. says most of these panels. Oh wait, hold on. Wait, I think I deleted that super chat. Yeah, I deleted that one. Yeah, I don't get people gonna super chat some hating on the damn show. What kind of shit is that? Golden Child 325 says, I love this brother Game Changer. He's pure comedy. No, he's serious. Everything he says, 100% serious. You should do everything he says. All right, Victor Carter in the building says, salute to the panel, great show. Lord Love Smith in the building says, black women need domestic discipline. Man, listen, yeah. Y'all been on a kick lately. When did my show be the safe place where y'all just think y'all can just come up here and just start talking about
beating women?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I fostered a safe space for that. Damn. Anyway,
Oh my
observe the
goodness.
domestic discipline. This will save black love and put black men in authority. Don't know what domestic discipline is? Look it up. Yeah, I don't know how I fostered a safe space for that. But anyway, yeah, homeboy yesterday was clowning. That's the first. It's like he hit the panel, waited patiently, and the first thing he said as soon as he opened his mouth, I was like, God damn. But Golden Child 325 says the Hooters analogy is interesting because even though they have scantily clad attractive women, I still wouldn't go because the food is trash. Nah, I like the wings.
Wings are decent. Yeah.
Yeah, you get the wings, the breaded wings, bone in with the general sauce. They're pretty damn good.
Big titted white woman. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Creation Muse in the building with a $10 super sticker. I do appreciate that. I did not realize we was on the air this goddamn long.
That's crazy.
I did not
Peace out,
realize
man. I
it.
gotta get on this barbecue. I will check you guys
Barbecue,
later.
that's mighty black of you. What the fuck? You
Oh my god.
Where there is a thing called Korean
It's
barbecue.
Korean barbecue.
Oh no, I'm all right.
Got you.
I mean, people do
I just
barbecue
saw-
across the globe, man. You know,
I just saw
Black
you at a
supremacist.
I saw you
you
at a
know,
black cookout.
black people didn't invent barbecuing.
Yeah, I saw you on the grill making some ribs at a black cookout with nothing but black people there. That's what I saw in my mind. Yeah.
Like the Dr. Dre video where it's
Yeah,
like a
that's what I
gun
saw.
in the back, gun in the
Yeah.
back of his apron.
Mm-hmm. That's what I saw. But all right, SKC,
Hey.
do appreciate. Always love and appreciate your perspective, man. But all right, all right, where we at
And
now?
another thing, when you're smart, everybody is stupid, relatively speaking. I mean, like, who's Einstein going to fuck if he's looking for high
Yo,
IQ? Like, everybody relative to him is low IQ. Like, the smarter you are, the dumber the bitch you fuck is. That's just how the way goes, relatively speaking. That's just how it goes. Like, do you want to save a community where the men aren't free to fuck attractive women? This is ridiculous. Such a community should not exist in any facet of the imagination. If you're bound to reduce who you fuck to a certain level of intelligence, in addition to, we already have to reduce our dick to 13% of the population. We actually have to reduce it more to the 2 to 3% that actually have a brain. Fuck that. No, fellas, make the community something worth protecting. Make the community something worth being in, because right now it's not. And if you are afraid to, or if you feel guilty by fucking a unattractive or an attractive woman because she's dumb, then send her my way. That's just ridiculous. That is just ridiculous to ever. What the hell, y'all? That's you. You people out there, those of you who are condoning such behavior, y'all get in the company of an attractive woman and you say, oh no, you're too stupid. Community. That's you. Listen to how you sound. Oh no, I'm not going to fuck this attractive woman because the community. That is how you sound. That is who's retarded in that bedroom. I tell you what. Okay.
Well, again, going to SKC's point, I think what he meant is, and this is an example of it, right? The first time I ever came across Brittany, what's her name? The one that was with PJ Washington.
Oh, that's Renner.
Brittany Renner. Okay, the first time I ever came across Brittany Renner was 2018. She was sitting in her car, right? And she said, and this is an exact quote, y'all. This is exact quote. She said, I've had sex with 3 men this week, and I have a monster yeast infection. That is a quote, right?
Yeah.
Now, let's fast forward to 2022. On my stream last week, I played a video. There was this YouTube guy going around talking to these young women. Michonne Denise she does stuff like, oh my God, look at what these women are doing. This is disgusting. So I took that and I played it. And this YouTuber was interviewing all these different girls, asking them all these crazy questions about what they do sexually. These 22, 23-year-olds are laughing about a question he asked them: how many men have you had sex with in a 24-hour period? 4 of the girls, he asked 4 different girls this question. The highest number was 3. So we went from Brittany Renner fucking 3 dudes in a week to now 20-something-year-old black girls in their early mid-20s bragging and laughing about fucking 3 men in a day, in one day. The more that happens, and SKC's right, the more that happens, the less women there will be for you to marry, and the community will burn. Period.
Oh my God. So you're telling me that if those 3 guys didn't fuck that chick, that a man should marry a woman who has a yearning for 3 different dicks a day?
Because I would marry a woman who told me that.
Okay, so she has that yearning regardless, whether she does it or not. So she shouldn't be married regardless because she has a yearning. Right quick. She has a yearning for 3 dicks a day.
Mm-hmm.
And you only got 1. So no matter what, she is an unmarriageable woman, whether you fuck her or not.
No. Fuck her all you want. I do. Fuck her all you want. Awesome.
Yeah,
my point is, the more women like that, your community is done.
I know.
But you're not creating those women by having.
That's what I'm saying. See,
you're not, Nate, you're not creating those women by fucking them. Those women exist without your dick.
No. Those women are following popular culture, which tells them to go do whatever the fuck they want.
I agree with that.
There was a time when American culture told women not to do that, and many of them didn't. Now it's telling them to do it. They're doing it, and my point is, the more that participate, the less choices you have. You will have to seek options elsewhere.
But what GC is saying is that their participation or lack of participation in it doesn't make them not the kind of person that they are. They are who they are, whether they participate or not.
They were born a whore? Were they
not born a whore. Not born a whore. That's not what I'm saying.
No, you're saying they were born a whore.
No. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you understand the option of not fucking a lot of guys and fucking a lot of guys. If you desire to fuck a lot of guys, whether you participate in it or not, you are not a marriageable person. So that if GC doesn't fuck that woman, then she is desiring 3 or 4 penises in a 24-hour, span of time. That desire makes her immediately unmarriageable, whether you fuck her or not. So she could only had 2 boyfriends up to the time she get to you. She's not marriageable. And that doesn't change whether GC fucks her or not.
Mr. Perkins,
exactly.
With all due respect, sir, I think that's a bit incorrect. Men get married and want to fuck every attractive woman that comes along. They don't do it oftentimes for the sake of your marriage. Wanting to fuck and fucking are 2 completely different things, sir. It's the activity that makes you trash. You can want to fuck 100 men a day. You can want gangbangs and all that crazy shit. If you don't act on it, you're cool. You're fine.
But she
engaging in the behavior.
But the fact that she would act on it, if given the opportunity, makes her trash. Just like a man who would cheat, the only thing that is stopping him from cheating is the fact that his wife is the only woman on the planet that want to fuck him. That doesn't mean he's not a cheater. And that doesn't mean that he is capable of being a husband that doesn't cheat. Okay, it simply means that it's a lack of opportunity. Now, yeah, you can lack an opportunity and then have these guys or have these women marry, some poor schlub that wants to fuck 3 different guys a day. I don't see that helping the community. Now, I mean, getting the women out of that condition, is something that helped the community. And to that, I say, be a better bitch. But if you're gonna be a hoe, then be mine.
I got to jump down because I got a show coming up. But this is what I want to leave with. Okay. Oh my God, I think I just brain farted, y'all. Hold on a second. I'm serious. I just completely lost my track of thought. Okay, I think I got it. What I'm saying is, for decades, women are in essence, civilizer of men sexually. In order to quote unquote settling down, not out there fucking and doing what you want to do. This woman said, in order to be with me and me have your children, you're going to need to settle down and primarily only sleep with me, right? Women aren't doing that. I don't blame the men. Men are men. Men want to fuck. I have not said anything disparaging about the men, period. I'm talking about the women. When the women decide to no longer have discernment, when the women want to participate in Fuckfest 98 and whatever, your community is finished. It's over. I'm putting the onus on the women. You can want to fuck whoever you want to fuck. If you go out there and do it, you're going to create some problems. All right. Men are men. They want to screw. They want to be with as many gorgeous women as they can. It's women that used to be what civilizes a man's sexual desire. Look, I'm not going to get my wife. I'm not going to get my home cooked meals. I'm not going to get my children. I'm not going to none of that unless I settle down.
All right. We about to go
I
to
think
hold on real quick.
that's
Mike,
slightly
hold on,
off.
Mike.
Can I respond to Rada God? He said, if I may, please. He says, you started by saying men undervalue their D. The irony. Yes, my D is worth attractive women. Damn it. That is what my D is worth. And when I say undervalue, I'm talking about unattractive women. Understand this. And I want y'all to listen and listen to me good, okay? And sexually speaking, an attractive dummy is more valuable than an unattractive genius. Okay. And that is no question of that. There is no question of that in any other community other than the Black community. There is no question on. Okay. My bad.
All right. Yeah. Because we about to go to Hood Server for the final words. So get the hell up out of here. You was about to jump in on something, man. Thank you for coming through. I don't know what you good. You truck driving right now?
Yeah, sorry, I'm on the road right now. Sorry.
Okay, cool. Go ahead and hit us with the last words because you had that feedback all
Well,
day,
I
damn
was
near. Yeah, go ahead.
sorry. Yeah, no, I pulled over to start the show, but I had to get the truck moving after a while. But
True.
no, I wanted to comment on what Nate said about women and sort of being a civilizing factor. I would disagree. I honestly don't think women have it in them to be self-regulating and all that. I think what you're talking about is the imposition of religion. Religious values imposed by men is what put women in that box. And because as a group, we traded the religion of Jesus for the religion of white supremacy, we're suffering the effects of it.
All right.
Final word. Salute.
Yep, we're gonna wrap it up right there. We're gonna wrap it up. Oh yeah, shoot, I almost forgot, Rod. I gotta play the most epic, infamous clip going on YouTube right now. Where the hell is it? Okay, here. Oh wait, no, it's already up. I just gotta. Oh shit. Wait a minute. There we go. All right, yeah, about to play this from the beginning one last time to take us home with this one. This is a black man basically crying over because of passport bros. Yeah, that it was bad. So yeah, about to play this clip. And speaking of dick police, we talked about that earlier. But yeah, this is grade A quality dick policing right here. So shout out to everybody in the building. After I play this, I'm just ending the stream. So thank you everybody who super chatted, Cash App, like, share, subscribe, do anything to support the stream in any way, shape, or form. I greatly appreciate you. And with that said, I'm up out of here. Peace.
Brothers, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm in the middle. I have our black male code to a certain extent. I'm a black male, but I'm just one of those few of us that actually loves the women that births us. And I would never, ever. I've been married to a Mexican woman. There's some of us that are in the middle. It's not black and white, young brothers. I get it. We older generation, we don't understand where you guys came from. Outwardly, just totally downgrading us like this. But that's all right. That's a different story. This is really for the young black brothers. I really do want to see you guys travel because we don't as black people. And it's so beautiful that young black men are getting out to go see the world, but you're bringing back an untruth. It is not safe for us like that. Still travel. Yeah, get you a fine Latina, but do it right, young black men. Think about how it is in this country right now for you. It is not better. No, I'm not saying don't go, and I'm not saying don't experience life, but especially Colombia. I teach Hispanic civilization and culture. Black men, be in the middle. Travel the world, be you, but stop tearing down our mother and sisters. Tell them the truth. It's not safe like that. We are seen as Vicks. Now, it might not be right, but it's the truth. We are the biggest Vicks. Why? Because all you want is some fucking pussy. All you want is some goddamn Latina pussy. That's all you show. Just like here. Just like here. Now, that doesn't mean you can't find a woman over there that loves you. Of course you will. They all want a damn passport. I got fucking played. And speak the language fluently. That's how big the game is. Be careful, young black men. This is not just as easy as, oh, they just want you. Oh, yeah, yeah, you're going to get some pussy. Because that's the image that we portray. That's the image we portray. We going to get some pussy and that's it. You're going to spend your money and you're going to marry them and you're going to get them out of poverty. The same thing you can do here for your own black people. Same thing you can do.
Period.
And I'm going to stop right there because you know what? This is not to go down on my black brothers. I'm going to be honest with you because I'm a black man from Chicago. And even though I'm one of the righteous ones, I'm still a black man and I cannot unmarry myself from the ridiculousness that we're showing to the world the last 15 years. I still love you because I'm you. I'm just not going to do what you do. There's some of us in the middle. And you know what? I love my sisters. I love my mother, her nappy hair, her big lips, because it's mine. Stop tearing down our fucking people. You don't understand. I'm a high school teacher. Everybody in the world sees us as fucking buffoons. Stop. Yeah, they beautiful over in Colombia, but it's some ugly motherfuckers too, and you know it. You know it. Be in the middle. Travel the world. Do it, please. Open your mind, brother. Please. But stop telling everybody that everything is better over there. They hate your ass just like they hate you over here.